couldn't have been more perfect for like our first time doing 2 separate audio files. That was great.
Look at that. Wait, hold on. Let's try to do this too. Let's just test the magic. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Oh wow! We're just on one today, dude.
Come on,
wow.
dude.
Cheers.
Come on,
we
cheers.
are just on one today.
Wow.
See, the great thing about these is they just taste like a juice.
Oh, 100%.
Like you don't really taste the alcohol in there. It's very slight. It's like a 5.8%. You know, so you're not gonna get stupid crazy. Like it's not a cut water.
You're gonna be okay.
Exactly. You're gonna be fine.
Just 10 times is better. Half as strong, twice as delicious.
God damn it. Yeah, this episode is brought to you by Cayman Jack. You know, we may not be the strongest alcoholic beverage out there, but we for sure are the tastiest.
That's right.
You know,
That's
half the alcohol, twice the flavor.
Half the alcohol, twice the flavor. I realize now that it's kind of like a backhand compliment advertisement. Like
Why?
half as strong, but twice as good.
Exactly. Yeah, we're fucking great.
Yeah.
We're fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna knock your socks off in the first, the first 16-ounce beverage, but you know,
No, have
it's
to.
okay because you have 2 or 3,
Exactly.
and now your socks are starting to come off. You know, they
Yeah.
don't shoot all the way off, but they're starting to creep off a little bit. You know.
And the best part is it tastes delicious the entire time. You've never lost a single fluorescent flavor, a single fruitastic number. Every single thing is there for your taste buds to enjoy. Don't you worry about it.
And yeah, while we're on the subject of drinks, this the thing that's keeping my beverage so cold here is this nice Mas koozie. You know, I don't know about you, but I love my beverages to stay cold every single freaking drop. I hate it
All the time.
when I'm drinking a drink and then in 2 minutes it's already lukewarm.
It's warm.
Like, what's the point? What's the point? I don't even want to drink it at that point.
Ridiculous.
But you know what? When I got my Mas koozie, all that went out the door. I never have to worry about a warm beverage
Never again.
ever again. So you want yourself a nice cold beverage? Go pick yourself up a Mas koozie. Mas koozie. Get cold, stay cold, motherfucker.
Get cold, stay cold, baby. That there is what the businessmen would call a free advertisement.
Yeah, we don't get paid for this. But hey, Mas koozies, if you want to pay us for this,
We'd be more than happy to
yeah,
accept
I'll take a
the
koozie.
offers.
I'll take another koozie. You know,
Yeah,
I'll take different colored koozies.
Yeah, sure. Do they produce different colored koozies?
Oh yeah, there's this black one right here. There's a
Yep,
navy blue
blue.
one right here.
Do they have like brighter colors?
Yeah, I think my mom has a pink one, and then she
Nice.
just got in like a sea blue sort
Ooh,
of
I like
color.
a sea blue. I fuck with like an ocean blue.
Yeah, I like when I see blue.
It's nice. I like when I see blue.
Well, what is going on, everybody? If you
Hello.
don't know what this is 2i4TV, where 2 guys get too high and talk about a little bit too much TV. And if this is your first time tuning in and you don't know who the fuck is talking to you, if you're like, what have these guys been talking about for the past like 2.5 minutes? I don't fucking know.
If you find yourself thinking, wow, I really like everything these guys have been saying for the last 2 hours. What intelligent young gentlemen.
Exactly.
What are their names?
My name happens to be Ryan.
My name is sometimes Daniel.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
It is Daniel.
Exactly.
Sometimes at home, it's Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Over text, it might be Daniel Jobin.
Daniel Jobin. Dan Jobin, baby.
Dan Jobin.
Dan Jobin.
Yeah, I was thinking about that yesterday. I was just like, how can I like spruce up the Jobin a little bit? And I
Yeah.
was like, Jobin.
Jobin.
So I put the little accent on
Yeah, I
the I.
like it. That's good. I also am a big fan of Mr. Diggothy. I
Diggothy?
like that
Yeah.
quite a bit. Diggothy Barnes. man.
Exactly, because you call them Diggs, and I was like, dang, I need to come up with like my own
Your Diggs.
like nickname for the nickname.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Big
it's
time.
funny when a nickname has a nickname.
Oh yeah,
you know?
that's how you know it's a good, strong nickname, man. If you can branch other nicknames off, whew, wow, you're doing well.
Exactly. But yeah, guys, this podcast, if you don't know who we are, you know, like we just said, I'm Ryan. This is Daniel, and
Hi.
what we do here is we just talk about movies. We get high, I get high. We talk about movies, and we drink some beverages. You know, some alcoholic beverages of different varieties. You know,
Yeah.
we don't just stick to Cayman Jacks. We've
No.
done different ones. But yeah,
Plenty.
we sit down, we grab a couple movies every week, and we talk about them. You know, we watch them, we talk about them, we give our 2 cents, and if you care about the 2 cents, you put it in your pocket.
Exactly.
know,
I like that. That's good.
Give out the 2 cents, you put it in
Care
your
about
pocket.
2 cents you put in your
Exactly.
pocket.
But
That's
not
great.
only do we talk about movies, you know, we talk about health and wellness. We,
100%.
you know, we are alcoholic beverage connoisseurs, as you can see.
big time. Yeah,
Exactly.
Actually, really quick, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm getting hints from like a field in Sicily.
Oh wow,
Somewhere
yeah.
off of this.
Oh yeah.
Cayman Jack mixed margarita drink.
Yeah, I'm getting
What do you got there?
There's real agave in here.
I
you know?
tasted the hint of
Exactly.
that as well.
Exactly.
It really washes over
Mm-hmm.
the mouth quite well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're also real estate agents, you know. So if you guys want to buy a house,
Yeah,
you know, just
100%.
you know, we might not be licensed real estate agents, but
No,
we'll take
no.
you to a nice house and be like, hey, this one looks like a nice one. You might want to buy.
Yeah, 100%.
you
Let
know?
me tell you something. I know a lot about the real estate market. Escrow is simultaneously high and low right
Mhm.
now. And if you don't know what that means, then you should probably definitely contact us because, we don't know either.
Yeah. I am a very avid driver of neighborhoods, driver around neighborhoods and looking at nice houses.
yeah.
So I can, like I said, I can take you to some nice neighborhoods and be like, you know, these are some nice houses
Yeah.
right here. You see the outside, you see the colors on this house.
He's fantastic at assessing a house's face value.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Exactly.
how you would say that in
Yeah.
real estate terms.
I might not know what price it is, but I could be like,
Nah.
hey, look at this is cool, right?
That house right there, that's worth 10 jobs.
See, I can picture you guys just take them to the house. I can picture you guys standing outside this house.
Yeah.
I could this being your family home. Just stand right there and just take a picture. Like,
Yeah.
see, this
Doesn't that look nice?
doesn't that look nice?
Doesn't
guys?
that look nice?
Yeah. But
Wouldn't
yeah,
you like
we're
that to be your future?
you know, we can help you buy a house.
Yeah.
We can help you look for a pair of socks if you need, you know, new pair of socks.
Yeah. I mean, we're willing to do simple jobs too.
Yeah.
You know, easy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You want to buy new socks? Cool. Lost all of your socks for some reason? We can probably find them.
Yeah. Well, we're sock detectives.
Yeah, we're
you
pretty
know?
good scavenger hunts.
I
too.
really hate it when like you wash socks and there's just like one sock that you know
Oh,
you
I
put in the
know.
washer and it's
And
just
it's like where to go. And then you like go to put on a shirt like a few days later, and then a
That's there.
sock falls out of
Yep.
your like sleeve or some shit, and you're like, oh, fucking news.
Yeah. If you guys hate dealing with that, we're the guys to help fix those problems
Yeah,
for you.
we'll watch your socks. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
So
Don't worry.
we're jacks of all trades, you know.
Yeah. Usually the term is jack of all trade, master of none. But
Mhm.
I like to think of us as, jacks of all trades, master of all.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
We do everything, we master everything.
100%.
You know? There's not one thing that we can't do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the 10,000 hours rule is a lie. Just like watch a YouTube video on something and
Yeah.
then you're automatically an expert. That's
Yeah.
usually how it works.
Or like 10,000 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. That's easy. That's like 4 minutes or something. We're also a math podcast.
Yeah. I actually kind of want to know how long.
How long is 10,000 minutes?
10,000 seconds.
Oh, 10,000. That's probably an hour at least. I'm going to say at least an hour.
Definitely not just an hour.
You think it's way, way longer than that?
Yeah.
What's 60 times 60? That would be an hour, right? In seconds? Like I said, we're also a math podcast.
I don't want to do that math right now. Well,
6 times 6 is 120.
well you got to think there's 60 seconds in
Yeah.
every minute. So you have to do 60 times 60.
I think that would be 1,200 or 120,000, but I don't know because I'm not good at math.
2.78 hours.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was halfway there.
Yeah, you just
A
watched
little Bon Jovi
Yeah, you
on
just
it.
watched 2.8 hours worth of YouTube videos and like you're good. You
That's
mastered
easy.
life basically.
If my iPhone, what's that shit called, screen time thing is of any
I hate that.
indication, then yeah, I've done unfortunately a lot of watching. That thing just humbles me all the time because I'm like, I don't think of myself as like a person who goes on social media all the time.
But
Like, I'm not on YouTube all the time, and then I look at that and I'm like, oh fuck, okay, maybe I am.
Like I just want to know like what does it take in like is it actually monitoring when your eyeballs are looking at the screen?
No, I think it probably because the other thing, because I've wondered about that as well. Because there's times where I've had really high numbers on stuff that don't make sense to me, and I am of the belief that if the app is open on your phone,
It's just like, oh, this fool's
watching
this shit.
even if it's just running in the background, it'll just take all of that into consideration. Because it's usually like a blanket number of like this is your screen time for like media apps or some shit, right?
Mhm.
Like I don't think it goes like app specific or anything like that. So
I thought it was just like when you're looking at the screen. I was like,
they
wow.
know they're just tracking your
You're a
eyeballs with the camera.
You're a very intuitive phone.
Scary.
Well, there was like there's like a feature on I remember I had like an old Samsung phone
Mhm.
where it was a pretty shitty feature, but it kind of works sometimes where you could just like look at your phone and you can like just look down and the page would start to like scroll down.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
weird. That's cool. I like that, but it's weird.
It's cool in theory.
Doesn't work well though.
It doesn't work well. I'm not
Yeah.
this fastest reader. I've definitely gotten faster as I've started to read more books as of late, but it's for sure kind of funky.
Okay.
When you're just like looking down, and you're just constantly looking down, and it's just like
Keeps
just
like,
scrolling.
oh yeah, because it doesn't like stop for you. Or
Yeah,
anything,
it's like
right?
it's like the opening credits for fucking Star Wars.
Yeah,
you know, they
you
just keep going.
reading. Yeah. What would be really cool is like if it detected that you got to the end of your whatever you were reading, it would turn the book like a page, or like shift down to the next section of the article or whatever you're reading. Because that is annoying. Scrolling text is hard. That's why credits are so hard to read too. Because you're just like, fuck. You just keep going.
I always like looking at the funny names in the credits. Yeah.
I feel like
Not that you guys' names are funny, but it's just like,
well,
that's an interesting string of names right there.
the other thing too that makes me laugh is I feel like regular names sometimes look funny because of like the font spacing that's on credits. A lot of times, like it'll be like Kyle Brannighan is like way over here. Like it's like a giant space in the middle for no reason.
That's a Kyle Brannighan.
Yeah,
dude.
he's a guy. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like a Kyle Brannighan's probably made a movie before.
Where do you think he's from? Where's Kyle Brannighan from?
You know, I want to say that Kyle Brannighan was born and raised in like a state like Minnesota or Ohio or something like that.
Minnesota.
Yeah. And then moved to LA to pursue his movie dreams.
I want to see. I think.
I mean,
I don't
he's
know
got
if
his
he-
name
I don't
in
know if he-
credits.
Yeah,
He's working on movies.
but I wouldn't say. I don't think he moved to LA specifically for
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
I think maybe he was in like Minnesota, but then went to like a bustling city like a Chicago or like a,
okay.
or like a New York, not necessarily LA.
Sure. Tried to make
And-
it somewhere else first.
Exactly.
Maybe he had different
Yeah,
dreams.
he's like Kyle Brannighan doesn't want to go to Los Angeles.
No, he's a small town kid.
Yeah.
Why does he want to be over there with the
I'm a
big
hometown.
business guys?
I'm a hometown kid.
Exactly.
I don't want to go to the land of fucking Hell's Angels
The
and
land,
the land of the
angels.
lost.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, no, I like that. I agree. I think in Chicago or New York, like something tells me he probably wouldn't have pursued something in the arts first.
What do you think he did as like a day job, just to like pay the bills and like?
Like the first thing that's coming to mind is some kind of like contractor or like woodworker, or it's like I feel like he has a truck.
Yeah, I think
That
he has
he
a trade that he does.
Yeah, I feel like Mr. Kyle Brannighan had a truck that he took his high school sweetheart
Oh wow.
to the prom in.
Yeah.
And then things didn't work out. Or maybe they did. Who knows? Maybe Kyle's a good guy. I don't know what happened. But then he ended up taking that truck and turning it into his trade truck.
Yeah.
All his tools are in the back now.
Yeah, Kyle Brannighan contracting.
He's the yeah, that's good. Yeah. I feel like he's the kind of guy that would hold on to things.
Yeah, gets his hands dirty.
Yeah.
Has some calluses on there.
He probably wants to pass that
He has
truck
some-
on to his son one
He
day.
has some rough manly hands.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
What-
Homie could use some lotion.
Yeah, I think he probably. I feel like he wears like just like Wrangler jeans and
For
like
sure.
flannels a lot. You know.
for sure. Because I also don't see Kyle Brannighan as like our main character or even like an actor. When I see Kyle Brannighan's name in this credits list of this movie that we're making up,
He's like a set designer.
I could see set designer. I was gonna even go like crew or grip or like one of those guys because I feel
What
like
is that?
like the homies in the back that basically do all of the physical work.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like he's one of the he's a contractor or he's got some sort of trade where we talked about him being like a hands dirty physical kind of guy.
Maybe he started as just like a dude in the back that
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, put this thing together, Kyle.
Yeah.
What's your name? Freaking, it's Kyle. Hey Kyle, I need you to fucking put this shit together.
Yeah.
You know. But then he moved into like the full on set designer because he always had dreams
Oh,
of
I
like
like it.
designing sets.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
He watched
eventually-
movies when he was young, like
Definitely.
E.T. and things like that, and he's like, wow, like yeah, it'd be cool to be an actor. It'd be cool to be the guy that's getting all the fame and fortune. But it'd be cool to design the
Yeah,
set that the
100%.
dude that gets all the fame and fortune has to do the art of acting on.
100%.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a perfect story of rags to riches. He goes from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
And then
What movies has he been on? What sets has he designed?
Every single Star Wars. No.
I feel he's like
a smaller movie.
Yeah, he's like an indie movie like
Yeah.
set designer, like a
Yeah.
small like low budget
you
like,
know.
comedy.
I think that Mr. Kyle Brannighan, having dealt with maybe not having dealt with the grief that he feels from losing the sweetheart love of his life. Homie exclusively works on romantic comedies.
Oh wow, yeah.
And makes set
Yeah.
designs of like the things he would have wanted and stuff like that. It's his
Yeah.
way of like, it's like his therapy. It's his art therapy,
Yeah.
you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
What could have been?
What could have been.
Interesting.
So anyways, come check out our new show, Kyle Brannighan. Inside the mind of Kyle Brannighan.
Welcome back to Inside the Mind of Kyle Brannighan. Now, Kyle, we were just getting into your young adult life. You know, after high school, you graduated, you broke up with your girlfriend, and then you moved to Chicago. Now, how was that, Kyle?
Yeah. Well, I mean, things happen, and there's not much that you can do about it.
Oh, he has a country accent?
I think so, right? Or am I missing?
Country accent from Minnesota?
Yeah. Maybe. What's Minnesota? Oh, Minnesota. It's
Minnesota,
like it's more like
yeah.
that, isn't it?
They like the
Okay.
Vikings out there.
No, I like that. I think that's a bit better, honestly, but because he's maybe a bit of a reserved guy.
Yeah.
No, I think.
Yeah. You know, he's just a good guy. You know, he works with his hands, you know.
100%.
If you you need your toilet changed, you know, Kyle's got you.
Kyle's gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, have my guy Kyle. You know, he can come
Kyle,
over and
yeah.
you know, if your little flusher's not working over there, you know, he can
fix
come
it.
over.
I
you know?
think Kyle's moving. Kyle's moving between a bit of Irish and a bit of Canadian as well. I think we're losing the dialect here on Kyle.
Oh, see, it's crazy. Like Kyle, like he's from Minnesota, but he spent 3 years in Ireland,
So he kind of
learning his trade. You know, learning how to
yeah.
work with his hands, because he didn't grow up, you know, doing that. He was just he was just a bus boy. He
No.
worked at supermarkets
Yeah.
like in high school and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, local Kroger's or something.
100%. Yeah.
But then he went to Ireland,
and they say
met his family, you know, met his ancestors, you
yeah.
know, or met family,
Yep.
you know, from his bloodline or whatever.
Yeah.
And they, hey Kyle, you know, if you really want to,
Well,
make it in the world, you got to, use your hands there.
use your hands there.
You got to get some calluses on your hands.
Get in the dirt and
That's what we really got
really
to do
work
here.
with the art. You know,
You got to work with the art.
You got to work with the art for sure. I think.
And so he came back and had a little bit of Irish left in him.
Just a bit Irish, for
Just
sure.
a bit Irish. So
They say that happens if you go and you spend enough time in a place that has a different accent. I think this is I'm actually for real, no joke here. It has to be like years and years and years. I think it's not going to happen in like a few years, but you will slowly start to like just talk like that because that's what you hear all the time.
I believe it. And I think if
Little
you're
bits.
someone that just like, because I feel like I'd be someone that would take on like the lingo of a place that I'm living, right?
Sure.
Like if I went and lived in Hawaii, I feel like I would eventually pick up like the, what's up, bro? Like the yes,
sure,
shit like that,
yeah.
But
It's bound to happen naturally.
it'd have to be some time,
100%. That's what I mean. I think it does happen naturally over like period of. I would say like if you go and you really make a move in your life and you go spend 5 to 10 years somewhere else, you probably start to pick up on some of that shit.
Yeah. So yeah, Kyle Brannighan went to Ireland, and then he came back and had a little bit of like this, border between. He had like this Canadian Irish accent.
He would talk pretty normal for a while, you see, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, there'd just be like a little one here or there. But it's not anything like too intense because it's really more just like an accidental blend of things that sort of happens from time to time.
God damn it.
How's that?
Oh, fucking Kyle Brannighan.
How's that
bro.
for Kyle Brannighan?
Dude, Kyle Brannighan would be a fucking. When I was in Hawaii, I started watching like the trash TV that's on fucking like Netflix and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
So like my cousin and my sister were watching fucking.
Love Island?
No, not Love Island. It's Too Hot to Handle.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Dude,
before.
that one's pretty fucking crazy. I'm very
good?
like, cause the reality TV that I subscribe to, I'm a big Jersey Shore fan.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm very much like, I feel like reality shows nowadays, aside from a few, like Buck Wild, kind of stem from like, they're pretty much the children of like Jersey Shore.
Sure.
I think Jersey Shore was kind of like the peak of reality TV. Like I feel like that's when it was at its best.
That was
like,
the Avengers Endgame of reality TV.
Exactly. In my humble opinion, right? I might not be the person to come to for, your reality TV hot takes, but
Yeah, there's probably someone who's an expert.
exactly.
In
But
this
that's-
man's humble opinion,
Exactly. I think Jersey Shore's the best. So I'm very like, reality TV, it's kind of whatever.
it's not
So-
gonna hit that high again.
Exactly. My cousin and my sister have always talked about like Too Hot to Handle. When my cousin comes over here to California, her and my sister always watch Too Hot to Handle. So when I went to Hawaii, they were like, you know what, motherfucker, you're staying in the living room. You're gonna have to watch this at some point.
Yeah,
This is your bed. Sorry, but we're gonna stay
It's
up
happening.
sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so one day they were watching it, and I was just like, "Fuck, I guess I'm just gonna have to watch this." And I started getting into it, dude. It was fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's basically like these people who are just like, they're young, they're super horny, they just love to fuck and everything. They go and they think they're on this like reality show, like a Love Island, where they're gonna go and like find love and they're gonna have sex every day and they're gonna go from this partner to that partner, blah 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 blah. So they're on this cruise ship, and then when they get to the island, they find out that they're on a show where they're actually there to change as people and find love. So they can't have sex, they can't kiss, and there's
okay.
all these rules like they
You
can't
get
like,
eliminated.
so basically there's a pot of $200,000, and anytime you break a rule, you lose money.
I think I've heard of that one
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
And it's pretty fucking crazy. And I was getting down. The people on it are pretty, they're pretty out there, but
pretty
it's-
horrible people.
I wouldn't say they're horrible. They're not like bad people, but
That's not the
their
best.
outlook on life
It's a little wonky.
is a little wonky.
Sure.
But
I would. I
it's how some people live, and I can't judge.
Nah, we're not here to judge. I do like that. Because I can't do long form reality TV where it's like one cast of characters for a really long time getting into a bunch of shenanigans. But I do enjoy. It is a guilty pleasure of mine, like the game show reality TV style, where there's like an objective involved,
Mhm.
and if they do something wrong, this or that, or like blah blah blah, that I can get into because I'm like, ooh, it's a game. I like it.
Yeah, I think you would get down on some Too Hot to Handle, because it is
I did
that,
like Love Island.
it is
so-
that where like they have these rules. You guys can't kiss, you guys can't have sex, you guys can't do anything sexual of any nature.
Crazy.
You guys can hug, you guys can
Sure,
cuddle,
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
They can be sweet.
They're sleeping in beds together,
Oh.
making it very, making
Yeah.
it very tempting for
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
But the whole
definitely.
objective is to come here and change your outlook on like finding love and building relationships
Yeah.
with people, and not just being like, oh, I'm not gonna get attached to someone, so I'm just one night stand here, cool, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah.
So
But-
is everybody in it together so that they all come out as better people and like split this pot at the end, or do people get eliminated and somebody wins?
There is like one person that wins,
Okay.
but like I said, like you go along and the pot just gets smaller because people like break rules.
Yeah,
There
fuck
are
shit, yeah,
people
yeah.
that just like don't give a shit and are like,
Oh, sure.
I'll fucking break rules. So
You
they're
gotta
just
have
like
a heel.
losing hella cash. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was just interesting because there's one portion where there's these two couples that are doing their best to build a relationship,
Mhm.
and they're doing all these like different tests. They send them on dates. They do this. They put them in rooms alone to make sure that they're actually building connections and not just trying to fuck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's one point where they bring in some new people,
Mm-hmm.
and the girls get to go on dates with those new people.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys are sitting there just like, sweating like, fuck, dude, what if she likes us, dude? Because at any time you can switch a partner. You can be like, okay, like,
Okay.
I've had my phone with this person, but like, maybe I want to try like
It's not
connecting
working
with
out
this
here.
person,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can do that. That's completely within the rules. It's shady,
Yeah, 100%.
but you can do that, right?
Sure.
And so they go on the dates, and like these dudes are like, fuck, man, like, they're sweating, they're tripping out. They're like, I don't know, like, hopefully they come back, because they're starting to really get invested in the relationship.
Mhm.
And there's this lady, Lana, who's behind the scenes. She just pops up as like this little fucking speaker, like Alexa looking type deal.
Okay.
And she gives them this ultimate or like decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can either choose to trust them
Mm-hmm.
and wait for them to see like their decision,
Uh-huh.
but they don't get to win the money at the end of the competition. So they're, or they can split now, win $25,000, and just fucking
Go.
just dip.
Wow,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and they both pick to trust the women at the end of the day, which works out for both of them, right? They both get into some good relationships. But I was like, you just take the 25 bands and just tell them to call you after.
Take the 25,000, take what you've learned and apply it to a real life relationship, not a game show relationship.
Now you got money, and now you can have a relationship outside the game
now
show.
You have social skill. You know how to have a healthy relationship, maybe, if you played the game right.
And those dudes didn't even end up winning, which is like,
hey, man, they won in their hearts.
They won it. Yeah, they did
won
win.
in their hearts.
They didn't win any money, but they won. They won love, and that is priceless.
Winner? Exactly.
I don't know. I think the winner was because the dude that won. It's funny. There's always like one dude that's like that's the cop, right?
Okay.
He's like making sure nobody does anything to break the rules, so they don't lose any money. Yeah. And it was this dude Dre. He was fucking hilarious. And it gets to a point where he's like, fuck, man, like, I've just been worrying about, like, making sure everyone doesn't break the rules. He's like, now I want to have a little fun because, like, this new girl comes in. He ends up breaking the rules, but it's funny because he comes on, he's like, you know what, guys? He's like, I messed up, like, I've been going so long without doing anything that I just, I broke the rules. Like, I'm sorry, he came clean.
Yeah.
And, like, it's funny because his outlook really did change by the end of, like, the show.
Okay.
And that's the reason why the person picked him. Like, they normally pick, like, a couple. And, like, the host was like, normally I pick couples, but this time I decided to do something different, and I picked the solo, which was Dre. And he's like, and she was like, because he did learn a lot. He changed a lot during the show. And, like, if you watch it, you can really, there is, like, a turning point where he, opens up and he, like, switches up his,
crazy. That's so trippy. But, so the only way to win is to just experience life and be a human and just have growth and change.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy as fuck.
But it was funny. Just because it's, like, it's people that really just, like, they're really into like how they look, and like
a little bit vain.
Yeah, a little bit
shallow,
vain.
maybe.
Exactly, you could definitely say they're shallow, and it's just like.
I mean, they're probably picking people. I imagine that the game show would not be good if they got a bunch of virtuous, humble people on there. And did that. So it's more entertaining for audiences, which is like kind of fucked up. But
what you need. I mean,
that's what those game shows are about. You need people who are going to be able to change and evolve in a quick one season format.
But it was cool. I could definitely say I fucking enjoyed it, and I was like,
it sounds fun.
I was getting into it for sure.
I like it. Like I said, I like the game aspect of reality shows. So if there's something to work towards, then I'm down with it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, I like it a lot.
I like it a lot,
Take out this Jeter freaking.
Hello, Jeter.
Hello, Jeter.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Hanging out with Stizzy lately. I hope that's okay with you.
I don't know where I put those.
Everything's gone.
Yeah, apparently. I guess.
Gotta get ready.
Gotta get that.
Boom, boom.
Gotta get that. Gotta get that. Boom, boom, boom. 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 Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, man. So we watched a movie yesterday that was pretty fucking.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if we were gonna.
Oh yeah, I'm down to talk about.
I was wondering if we were gonna blab about the Blue Beetle.
I'm down, dude. I'm down to blab about the Blue Beetle. So why don't you tell the people about Blue Beetle a little bit? While
people about the Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is a new movie out in theaters this weekend. I think it just premiered this week, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It features. I think it's Xolo. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Xolo Maridueña.
Yeah. I apologize.
Xolo Maridueña.
There you go. As Jaime Reyes, the second incarnation of the Blue Beetle, both in the comic books and in this movie, which I thought was a cool surprise. I didn't know if they were going to do that or not. I would say it's like a pretty typical coming-of-age superhero movie with a more representative spin on it. Now, before we get into the grease and everything, I'll just say straight up right here, I'm happy that this movie exists, and I think that it is pretty great that young brown kids have a superhero to look up to on the screen that looks like them.
I'm the first brown boy to get it poppin'.
Yeah, I think so, right? Like, I don't want to be ignorant here and forget somebody in the mix, but I don't think there has been a superhero movie that tried to dive as heavily into like what I understood to be like Mexican culture. They don't specifically state in the movie like where they're from, aside from one part that Buddy caught, which was that George Lopez, the character that he plays, is from Sonora, which is in Mexico. So I assume they're Mexican, but it's pretty good. Bro. But from what I was getting from the things that I recognized, it felt Mexican. I'm Mexican. I recognize things on there. I don't know. Maybe there's things that cross over the different cultures that exist within the brown community. I'm not an expert on it. I apologize. But I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really good. I think it's pretty funny. I think that the main character, Jaime, is pretty charming. I think that kid is honestly like a young star in the making. I could see him going on to be like pretty famous after this, honestly. Oh, yeah, sure. I think this is a good stepping stone for him for sure, because like he's already been really good in Cobra Kai. And he definitely like shows his acting chops in that shit for sure from like a pretty young age. He looks young in like those first seasons, if I remember correctly. And I think he's like probably about the age that they say he is in the movie, right? Which is like 22 or 23 or something like that. It's like a young kid back from college.
See how old this guy is. Born 2001. So yeah, he's about like,
right, 22, 23. Yeah. But he's great. He's got like a really, really good energy. I like him as a superhero. I think he's like I was talking about this. I think he brings like something a little bit different, which is like attitude in like a rough way, which I like. There's attitude in like
he's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy. It's like it was weird because he's a good boy. I think, right? Like as a character, he's a good son. I think like he went off to college and had this dream of getting a degree and coming back to like his barrio, basically. What do they call it? Like Edge Keys or something like that in this made up city.
Edge Keys, Holmes.
I forgot what it's called, honestly, the city. But
La Palmera?
Is that La Palmera? Okay. So they live on the outskirts, and he has this dream of like coming back home and basically like lifting up his community for, a quick summarized version of it. And that doesn't happen. His dad had a heart attack. They're maybe losing the house and also their shop. I was a little bit late to the movie, so that part I don't quite remember.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't remember what kind of shop. I don't know if it was like I think it might have been like an auto body shop or something like that.
Yeah. It seems like it.
There is a big like info dump, like
right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning, it's like kind of crazy because it doesn't open up with him. It opens up like obviously with Susan Sarandon's character and then the other bad guy. And then it jumps over to like the airport and you have his family there and they're like, oh my God, like don't tell him like when he comes, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Or whatever.
And they welcome him in really quick.
And then they go and you walked in when they were having dinner, which was pretty much like, you guys were pretty close to the beginning. So it wasn't like you missed out on like a whole bunch.
What, 5 minutes?
Yeah, but you did miss out on when they're like, oh yeah, like we're losing the house. And then Dad had a heart attack, and then and then we're losing the shop. Yeah, and it's just crazy. That part was crazy to me because, and like me and Diggs were both like, "Damn, they didn't tell him any of this shit." Like that was a whole big thing of like they didn't tell him like, "Oh, you're at school, we didn't want to tell you." But I was like, "Damn, homie's dad hella had a heart attack. They're losing their house and like their shop, they're losing, and they're just like, we're just not gonna tell you anything."
No, yeah. So I will. Okay, so to finish my kudos on the movie, the action's really good. I think the soundtrack is pretty good for the last half of the movie. The first one, I don't think it really finds its identity, but then in the second half, it has like a really cool synth vibe to it that I dig for his character. I think it works really good. The actors were all pretty good all around. I don't think there was anybody that I like disliked in particular. And I am excited to see hopefully this same rendition of this character added into the DCU going forward. From what I've heard, to get into the nerd backgrounds of it, so far is that apparently the movie as a whole is not technically a DCU project, but Jaime Reyes, Xolo, what is it?
Xolo
Maridueña's Blue Beetle is going to be kept going forward, which I am happy about because I think he's good, and I think he's going to be a good addition to like the younger side of the DC universe, which is cool. But yeah, overall, just to give a quick stamp on it, because we're not talking about this one today, I give it like a pretty strong 7. I think it's pretty good. To get into the gripes a little bit, I think it's a little too simple at times. There's like a couple of times where I want a little bit more show don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost the same problem that it is the same problem that I had with like Mission Impossible, which I'm like teetering on this like, wow, okay, I really liked what I walked away with overall, but damn, getting information in this movie was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times it was just like people standing there telling the person,
talking at you and stuff like that.
which is like fine. It's not too bad because I think I was thinking about it, and right after the movie ended, because I was like one of the first thoughts that was running through my head, and like right after it ended, I was like, okay, to be fair, nobody, myself included, knows who the fuck Blue Beetle is really. He's not nearly as popular as like a lot of the other characters that are on screen right now, like in terms of superhero movies. So I understand the need to just like get information across quickly, and that's easy to do if you just have characters tell each other what the fuck is going on. So to a certain extent, I get it, but I just would have liked a little more. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes the movie horrible, but it does like give it a little bit of a ding for me for sure.
Yeah. I thought this movie was. I was definitely pleasantly surprised with this movie. I wanted to enjoy this movie because I think Blue Beetle is like a nice character to add into this mix of superheroes that we've been getting from both, Marvel and DC. I think he is very unique.
He's fresh.
Yeah, he is very fresh, you know. So I definitely walked out of it really liking the movie. I give it like a nice like 7.5. I don't think it's the most perfect movie, but I also don't think it's the worst movie. I don't.
No.
I definitely think it has more. I definitely think the pros outweigh the cons in this movie for sure.
Yeah.
Which I definitely really wanted. I thought it was really good. Again, I think Xolo Maridueña does really, really well as Jaime Reyes. Bruna what did she say? Marquezine plays Jenny Cord. She was really good.
That's right. Yeah.
The family I think was cast really well. George Lopez does really good as well. It's you're not gonna get. I don't think you're gonna get a bad performance from George Lopez.
No. Yeah.
And yeah, I do agree. I think the story is pretty simple at times. You can tell it definitely takes inspiration from like some Spider-Man-esque type, type stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. Iron Man as well. But yeah, it was nice. I agree with you. I did want the story to be a little bit more complex at times because with a character that not a lot of people know about, I think gives you a little bit more creativity on what you can do with your character.
Yeah.
I think you could do a little bit more. You do have a fresh slate. People aren't going in with these like crazy expectations of like, oh, we've seen a Spider-Man movie before. This is what we want to see. Oh, we've seen a Batman movie before. We've seen a Superman movie before. Yeah. It's very, very, it's very, very different. And I think that gives you the liberty to be a little bit more creative with your artistic takes and, maybe get a little bit deeper in the story. Not that I think the story was bad. It is a very nice family-centered story and a story about, your family and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think it's like the strongest. I think the beginning does struggle to find its feet and like what it wants to do. Definitely the second half after. I mean, once he gets the scarab, I think
it picks
is
up.
when the movie starts to pick up and you start to be like, okay, now we're getting into who the Blue Beetle is and stuff like that. I do agree that I feel like a lot of the times when like Susan Sarandon came on as Victoria Cord and it was like we were learning stuff about, the bad guy side of things and what they were doing. Yeah, it was very just exposition, info dumps. Hey, this is what we're doing. We're the bad guys. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just kind of like, I would have liked them to have focused a little bit more on freaking what's his fucking name? The dude that the dude that plays the bad guy.
Yeah, the guy, the OMAC guy.
Yeah.
I cannot remember. Fuck. He's the biggest dude in the cast list, but they don't have him.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's freaking go. Let's go on IMDb.
I cannot remember his name, but yeah. What was unfortunate about him for me was like at the end he had an intriguing backstory, but it's not introduced until like 5 seconds before he dies.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I thought the same thing too. Like there is a nice parallel between him and Jaime Reyes where I think if you introduce his side of the story like a little bit earlier, I think you have a nice thing going on because, once you learn at the end, like he lost, or spoiler warnings, obviously for this movie, but
yeah, sorry.
He lost his mom or whatever. And that's why he's on this kind of trek to.
Well, he also just got like turned into a slave from the way I understood it. Cause like early in the movie, like Susan Sarandon introduces him to like this other military man as like this brave lieutenant who like took a bomb for his fellow people and like saved some kids
Mm-hmm.
in like some war. I don't know. But then you have the flashback and like
this guy Carapax.
yeah, Carapax, yeah. You have the flashback and like yeah, homie like straight up got enslaved basically. Like
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon comes up and is like, yeah, he'll do as like a fucking 10-year-old kid or something. Just
Yeah,
takes
his mom
ass.
died from a bomb that was
Yeah.
made by Cord Industries
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, there was like a lot to his character that I think they could have explored more, and I think would have benefited the movie, but they just didn't fucking.
Yeah.
They just didn't do it.
I think it's like one of those things where it'll be better in retrospect, but it's unfortunate for like a first viewing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I go back and watch the movie again and know what that dude's all about now, like okay, yeah, maybe it'll be a little bit more intriguing, but that is not present in the movie still. That's like only there because I've seen it once before.
Yeah, I think they have, because like, I think with that, when you have a character that is a parallel to your main character, I think it's better to sort of make them the main focus on the bad guy side, because you have that emotion from both sides.
Mhm.
I think we have been getting very much into this wave of like evil, like bad characters that are that you can sympathize with a little bit, which I don't I don't think is bad.
No.
I don't think it's good when you overplay it, but I think in this situation, when you have this main focal point that is family, and you have obviously shit with his family that went on, I think it would benefit the story a little more to put that in the beginning and see his his sort of I'm losing the fucking word in my mind, but his drive as a character, opposed, like parallel to like Jaime's and stuff like that.
Definitely the colliding forces. And
Exactly.
whatnot, yeah. There was. I'm also just not like a super big fan all of the time. There's some things like from my childhood that I can't get over where this does happen, but like nowadays, I'm not always the biggest fan of like early on in the movie. The villain says the exact opposite of what the hero is supposed to learn. And then he beats his ass. And then he's going to say it again at the end of the movie. And the hero's going to look right at the camera, basically, and say the mission statement of the entire movie.
Because that's kind of what happened.
It does. There's that bit where, like, he's beating him up in the beginning, like, when he's first leading the Blue Beetle.
Love you feel for my family
is what makes you weak.
is what makes you weak.
Yeah. And then they show him later, and he says it again, and he's like, no, the love for my family is what makes me strong. And I'm like, okay. Power friendship, power family. I get it. Just don't say it. Just don't say it. It takes the cheese level from like heartwarming to cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that's what this movie was at times. It was really heartwarming, but then there is a lot of cheese.
A lot of cheese, yeah.
From like, I don't like older writers, like you're saying, older writers trying to write like young adult things that don't hit.
Yeah.
But then also like the over characterization of like, I feel like a Mexican family
Big
and
time.
stuff like that.
Big
Like there
time.
are parts that hit really well, and I think they did a good job on. But there's other parts where you're like, damn, it sounds like you just heard a Mexican person say that, and you're like, oh yeah, let's just
That
add
sounds
this.
Mexican,
Like when you, I don't think you were there, but or you might have been. But when Jaime and his sister were talking like on the roof, and he's like, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make it big, and I'm gonna freaking buy this house for my family. And she's just like, blah blah blah, carnal.
Yeah,
and I was just like, that felt very like out of place. Like, I've heard that, and I like that word. It's funny. I like saying that word.
But I don't know if like 16, 17, 18-year-olds right now are like saying that to each other anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm the ignorant one. But I agree. I think there was a lot of times where, and this is just the case that it's like a weird stalemate that we're at as audiences, I think, in a general sense, because like we can tell when there's like a 30-something-year-old writing stuff that's meant to be for like teenage or 20-year-olds.
Gareth Dunnett.
Watch him be like 12. But I feel like that we can tell when stuff is cheesy and when it doesn't come from like a credible source, quote unquote. It doesn't like feel like young, so to speak. We can tell and we think it's cringe, right? But then at the same time, you have like the story of like Jenna Ortega taking over and trying to be like, no, this is not like, this does not reflect my experience as like an actual person this age. You should let me do it. And then the general audiences flip out on that too, and are like, "That's ridiculous!" Like blah 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 blah. So it's like I feel like it's another one of those things of like, what do you want? What are we supposed to do here? You know, we gotta find a middle ground at some point or another.
Let's see. I want to know the
age.
and also like the nationality of this guy.
Oh, if he was actually Mexican.
Yeah, or something.
Just
because I also like we were saying after the movie, like Palmetto City is supposed to be like Miami, right?
yeah.
And once you get to that side, like the east coast of the United States, it is more like Dominican, Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
Cuban, and stuff like that, which is very different from Mexican and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if at times in the movie, again, like I just didn't know. Like I personally didn't know. Like when I was watching the movie, I was just like, oh, this feels like LA. Like when they're in somewhere, I was like, this feels like LA. And it felt like they didn't necessarily know what they were going for in terms of like cultural. I don't know. I don't want to say they didn't know what they were going for in terms of cultural representation. But when you get to that side of the world, it is very different from like.
There's just there comes a point in the movie where like again, aside from the, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that they're a Mexican family because, like Ev had pointed out, right, George Lopez's character at the very least, and his dad, so presumably pretty much everybody else in the family we know is from Mexico, but they don't ever explicitly say we're a Mexican family. They allude to like this thing that I think is very present in like brown culture in general, right? Which is like you take hits and you fucking get back up and you use them to make you stronger. Like I think the message of it was great. I really liked it, but there didn't the like strong sense of identity.
Okay, he is Mexican.
Didn't seem like it was there for me.
Yeah,
I don't know. The homie's name is also Gareth Dunnett, Alco said. So, I mean, no judgment. Not trying to be rude. I apologize if that came off as, like, very judgmental. But I just would have liked a little bit more authentic identity. That some points in the movie didn't feel super authentic to me.
Like, even the part where, like, Sanchez is like, my name's not Sanchez. It's like, and he blurts out,
it's
like,
Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez. That's
like,
not his name, but
it just feels like very cliche. Like a cliche thing to put into, like,
the movie,
you know?
There's just, it's weird because it's like, and again, we've been on this train for a minute, so I just want to reiterate by saying, we both enjoyed the movie very, very much. It's a good movie and it's a fun time overall. It's part of what we enjoy to do on the podcast is just get into the nitty gritty of stuff. That's all it is.
The point of this podcast.
It's the point of the podcast. But yeah, there was just, it felt like, I told Ev last night, and I think I said it when we were all standing around, I was like, it very much felt like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, where it was like, fuck yeah, okay, we're seeing a brown family on screen. And it's like, oh, but they just said some cliche ass shit. Or it's like, sometimes like, there also is like a push, at least in the early part of the movie, to like have this DC universe like racism where like certain people do not treat Jaime with the respect that like a human being should get. There's like a lot of times where he'll go up to a counter or he'll go up to a worker or something who's like a white lady and she's like what's that part? He walks up to the thing and he's like, my name's Jaime, and she keeps calling him Jamie.
Yeah, like, okay, Jamie, like, go and have a seat.
So like they do make attempts to put it in there. When you do something like that, I personally enjoy it even more than I already did because I like the movie. If you commit to it fully, not just like kind of put it in there a little bit and be like, look, see, there's racism in this world, but then it goes away and it's never there again.
It goes back to your whole like show, don't tell, because that is the one point where they show it, but there is a lot of times where they say like, oh, like, you know, like these people, like, they'll just come to this side of the city and they just like kick us out, blah, 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 blah. And there's a lot of that, which is true. Like that definitely happens.
Gentrification happens, man.
You know, gentrification's a real thing. That shit happens. But it's a lot more impactful when you see that and you see the effects and you see the effects it has on the characters versus them just like saying like, hey man, this shit fucking sucks.
Yeah.
When like, obviously it does.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. Yeah.
But show me, like, get me emotionally invested in like, because I feel like that's another thing the movie doesn't like commit to is like they give you this whole thing about, we're losing the house, we're losing this, blah, 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 blah. And then that kind of just like goes out the window.
Yeah, the house gets blown up anyway because of a big fight that happens because the movie is technically on paper still about a space scarab that gives this kid superpowers. So of course things have to blow up. And then none of it really matters anyways because what's her name died, and Jenny Cord is now in charge of Cord Industries, so
Yeah.
she just rebuilds the house for them, which is nice.
I gotcha.
It's nice. I like it, right? Because she kind of like gets inducted into the family in a way, like over the course of the movie. But yeah, another thing too that like it bothered me in the movie, not like to the point where I was like pissed off or anything, but like I made note of it, which is like the family and just characters in general seem to react very calmly to the situation that is going on in this movie, because like it's not like your typical superhero movie where the kid tries to hide his superpowers from his family and then they find out eventually, and there's like one scene where they're like, we accept you and we love you, right? It's like they know from the get-go, and they do like a pretty intense first transformation scene. I liked it. I thought it was really good.
It was awesome.
He's like fucking forming, and like the shit looks like it's burning his skin and shit, and like it's crawling out and into his mouth, and his voice is changing. Like it's kind of like not scary, but they were definitely going for like a shade of horror, of like possession horror there for sure. But then like George Lopez is just being a fucking clown the whole time in the background, like
dude,
screaming all fucking crazy.
We had a fucking George Lopez fan club.
Oh,
in
they
our
loved
theater,
him,
dude.
dude. They
Anytime
loved him.
George
Anytime he
Lopez,
did anything,
they were like, "Fuck off!
Yeah.
This guy's fucking hilarious." Which he is funny.
He is. Yeah.
But I would say, like, I don't know if the amount of like
laughter was
warranted. Yeah.
Yeah, but because him, and then even just the other like family members too. Like there was just like homeboy fucking shoots out into space, flies off, and they all just kind of stand there and they're like, "Whoa, what just happened?" And it's like, "No, dude, your son just got possessed by like a fucking space thing and like got shot up into space. Like you're freaking out more than that." Like there's just certain times like that where I was like, damn, this is a weird dynamic, because there is a lot
and they
of
just
heavy
go back
drama.
to doing just like regular shit after that.
Yeah, but then they also jump right back into drama too. Like all of a sudden they'll do that, and then it's like, be careful, you don't want to like mess up your father's heart rate or something. I don't know. It was
there is some pacing issues with
the movie. I think the movie's too long. I think it should have been like an hour 50, maybe like a flat 2 hours if you really need it. But
yeah, I thought it was funny. I was talking to Diggs before the movie, and he was like, "How long is it?" And I was like, 2:22, brother. And he was like, "Damn, that's long." And
it's kind of long.
And I thought it was like a 2:05er.
So did I. That would have been good. That would have been fine. Right around 2 hours, I think would have been perfect. I don't need much more than that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think I was
the part where they went to like the Cord Estates. It was cool, but I think that like slowed down the movie.
If anything, that would have been cooler in a sequel.
Yeah.
Like establish this world first. Don't give who gives a fuck. Well, not who gives a fuck, but like, sorry for Ted Cord fans out there if you're a fan of like the original Blue Beetle. But in the context of this movie, he hardly matters. He's not like emotionally or like meaningfully tied to the story in any way other than like he was basically Jenny when he was around. He was like fighting against the corporate military
He was
version
straight up
of
Jenny
it.
from the block.
He was Jenny from the block, bro. What do you want?
I'm just Jenny from the block.
But yeah, like I said, overall very strong 7, or like even like a almost an 8. Like I would probably also give it a 7, anywhere from like a 7.5 to an 8. And I liked it overall. I think I would probably choose to watch this again before some of the other movies in the DC
100%.
universe.
100%.
That's a for sure.
The action was fucking sick. I liked
really good.
I liked
really, really good.
him. Like I liked
The Blue Beetle suit's fucking rad.
Yeah,
dude.
the way they displayed his powers, I thought they did really, really well.
Yeah,
Because
he kicked some ass.
that's something that can easily like just not look good on
Yeah,
screen, and I thought it looked really well. There are times where you could tell the budget wasn't as high for this as it probably should have been.
Yeah,
and I think that's because this was initially just going to be like a straight to HBO Max release.
Yeah.
But I think to me, I was thinking about this last night, like once you commit to the idea of like, okay, we're going to have this in theaters, let's put a little bit more into that budget. Because I think there are times where like the city, like Palmetto City, looks
bad.
It
looks weird. I don't even want to say bad, but it looks weird because it doesn't necessarily look.
It doesn't look as good as it could, because I've been thinking about this too. Like, and there are like gripes that I will have with superhero movies and stuff like that on like the realism of something, and I'm like, okay, I have to also understand that these are adapting comic books, and I have to kind of
shit's not real.
Shit's not real, and they are gonna play shit up because that might how it be. That's 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 how it looks in the comics, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what they were going for here because I looked at some comic shit, and Palometa City does have this
Looks accurate.
this weird sort of futuristic sci-fi utopia style to it that I think they try to go for, but it just doesn't look very good. We also just don't spend hella time there.
No, you see like maybe 2 shots of it like overall, like in like a wide view, and then other than that, like most of the other scenes are. There was times too though where like I could be 100% wrong here, but there was times where I felt like they were using CG unnecessarily. Like I think when they're inside Court Industries, those are green screen backgrounds.
Yeah, see
I don't think they're in the actual like city building.
It looked so funky. Like it just kind
Things
of
just
looked
feel
like
slightly off.
It looked like fucking Mr. Freeze's fucking suit from what was it? Batman fucking
Yeah, Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Or maybe Batman Forever.
Batman Forever with George Clooney or whatever. Like it kind of had that sort of feel to it.
Yeah. But I mean, the suit though, which is honestly to me what matters. I could give a fuck if the city looks bad as long as he looks cool, and he looks fucking cool. Yeah. The suit looks really good, and like
I love that he pulled out
really
the
cool.
fucking the Cloud sword. That
the Buster sword, bro.
That shit was
shit's
fucking sick.
Yeah.
I like it because Cloud is the character that I play as most of the time.
Yeah.
In Smash, it's either Cloud or like Toon Link.
Yeah.
Toon Link's fucking fire.
The sword character. Yeah.
But I'm a big sword character guy because I'm not very good at Smash, and the sword characters give me
that
that
leg up. You get
give me
the
that
range.
distance. Yeah, give me the range and keeps people at bay a little bit.
I'm a Pikachu main.
Okay.
And then good old fashioned Mario is my secondary.
Yeah, Mario's a good one.
Mario's heavy enough to stay in the game long enough, and if you can hit them with that fucking down smash in the air, bro, that's just so satisfying, dude. Anyways, but
yeah, I liked the Buster sword.
It's cool as fuck.
Yeah, I liked seeing him use it. I was a little bit like, damn, he didn't do like his special move that Cloud does in Smash. He didn't do it properly.
Sure.
Because Cloud fucking swipes up with the sword.
Sends the like wind blast or whatever.
And he did the wind blast, but he like went down.
He slices down.
He slices down. But it was still fucking fire. It was still awesome. That was like the nerd in me being 100%. Like, well, technically, you can't do shit like this.
No, I was very satisfied because like ever since Creed 3, there has been this itch that I have an absolute ridiculous need to scratch to the point where I'm trying to come up with my own story that can do this stuff. But I want a movie that can properly give us a live action anime fight. And the Buster Sword stuff is what I want. Because that feels good. He's like charging through the air with a giant sword, doing flips before he does like some attacks and shit. Like it's quick movements, it's fast, there's energy blasts coming out and shit. If the whole fight was the Buster Sword, holy shit. I would have lost my shit like way more than I did. But the quick couple seconds that we got of it was worth it. It was really cool.
He does some cool shit with it. He fights with it. He does that nice little fucking spin attack that I fucking really like. Yeah, when he's in there, he's just like that shit was pretty fucking sick.
Oh yeah, it's good shit.
The hallway fight scene was fucking awesome.
Really
that's
good
the scene
shit.
I was waiting for because in the trailer, that's the scene that looked the most awesome to me. And that paid off for sure.
That was another thing I was gonna say. If you've seen the trailer, you know what this movie's about.
Yeah, you've kind of seen the movie.
You've seen the movie. There's not a lot that they hide in like if you've seen all of the official trailers, that's pretty much it.
And that's my main gripe with trailers nowadays is they show off a lot where I'm just like, damn, that would have been so cool to just experience for the first time in the theater.
I think this is another one of those things though where like
seeing him pull the sword out.
Yeah, for the first time. Yeah,
would have been sick if I didn't see it in the trailer like at all. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
What the fuck? But you know that part's coming, and you're kind of waiting in anticipation.
No, I do.
Did you need another beverage?
Yes, please. If you're gonna re-up, I'll take one. I do agree with you. There were certain moments that I think would have been.
Do you want a Margie or a?
I'll take another Margie. I'll take another Margie.
I just have the regular Marg flavor.
Okay, that's fine.
Trip out on how cold the cans.
Still, even outside the fucking thing, dude.
Mass koozies.
There's a couple of times where I forget what I'm talking about. Now is one of those times. Fuck, what were we just talking about?
We're talking about fighting and stuff like that. Sword, freaking.
I think I lost it.
My bad.
No, it's okay. But the fight scene was cool as fuck, and I liked it overall. Hello. It was dope. Hello. Hi. How you doing? Good. Hungry? Yeah, it was. I had a good time with the action sequences, and it was good. It was a good time.
It's a fucking fun movie, man. Yeah, it was fun. I definitely think everybody listening to this should take the time out to watch this in theaters.
Yeah, go give it a chance for sure. I think it's. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say if I wasn't so recently on a train of like going to the movies, I would probably tell you could wait to watch this one at home. Like, if I'm speaking purely on the like needness to see this right now for the movie, you could probably miss it for a while. But I want this movie to do well because it's one of the first major brown superhero movies that we've had. So go fucking go to the movies, goddammit.
Yeah, I think you need to watch it in theaters because I think a lot of the action is like super cool, and I think a lot of the moments hit really well like in theaters
on the big screen.
Yeah, on the big screen, like
some
his
big
first
sound.
Yeah, like his first flight, super cool, and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
that was good.
Still was not a big fan of his display, like the fucking.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because like. With the way it's portrayed in this, how the fuck does he see
That's what
anything?
That's what I'm saying. It
the
looks
way that
so
they
funky.
show it from his POV, everything's just like blurry colors. Like
looks
he's
like
not,
a very bad arcade game.
Yeah, he's not seeing people. Like he's seeing like
outlines.
Yeah, like you know how like in the accessibility settings for Call of Duty, you can like put colors around enemies and shit like that. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
Looked so bad.
It
like
looks
that
weird.
looked very terrible.
It looks weird. Cheers. Yeah, it is what it is though. Oops.
Yeah, I just think like everything about the suit was awesome except for that part.
I will say too, you and I are both spoiled because we have arguably two of the greatest first flight scenes of all time, and that's Iron Man 1 and Man of Steel. Because we got to grow up on that shit. That's from our childhood.
Dude, I remember watching the Man of Steel first flight
Holy
in theaters.
fuck, dude. When I was a child, quick sidebar. When I was a child, probably like just after that movie came out. Not a child. I was in high school probably. But I used to ride longboards and penny boards a lot when I was in high school. And I shit you not, this is 100%. I would do this like every weekend. I would fucking put my headphones in and I would play the song from the first flight thing. And I would sit on my tummy on the fucking longboard and launch myself out the garage and just like fly down the street pretending to be Superman, bro. 1000% did that all the fucking time.
Dude, I still get
that scene was my favorite.
I still get goosebumps and I still like tear up when I watch that just
It's
because
so
you get the
cool.
Russell Crowe like voiceover him as fucking
Jor-El?
Yeah, Jor-El.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like,
So cool.
fuck, dude.
Yeah.
That shit's so fucking sick.
So we're spoiled. We're biased. But I wasn't the biggest fan of this first flight one. There was like just a little bit too much. Whoa, what's going on? Oh God. Oh, pew, beep, beep, beep. Like it's very chaotic. Like he's just slamming through the world basically, which is like, it's kind of funny at times, but there's a few moments where I'm like, all right, a little too cartoony.
Even like towards the end, like he still doesn't really know how to fly like super well.
It's just happening to him and he just like falls. Yeah.
I do like the way they visualize him flying through the air and you see like the fucking the big circle, like the sound
blue.
barrier,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that shit.
It
Like
looks
that
good.
shit was fucked.
I
That
agree.
shit was cool.
It makes him feel powerful.
Oh,
Makes him
yeah,
feel,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see more Xolo Maridueña as the Blue Beetle moving
100%.
forward. I'm glad that hopefully he stays the same. I think
he'd be a great addition to like a Young Justice movie, or
yeah.
even just if they introduced the side characters in a full-on Justice League movie, he'd be great. He's got the charisma for it for sure.
exactly. But yeah, definitely go check this out in theaters because gotta support the movies, gotta support the actors, gotta support the writers, gotta do that.
Go buy a
shit.
ticket.
And it's very important to, if you want to see movies in the same vein as this, to go and support them in the theaters because
Gotta speak with your wallet, man.
exactly that's the money is the only way the big execs talk. That's the only language they understand.
If there's a certain type of movie that you don't like, maybe you don't buy a ticket for it every time it comes out. Just skip it.
But the ones you do love,
Go buy those.
and the ones where you're like, oh man, I can't believe they don't make movies like this anymore. This fucking sucks. You gotta ask yourself this one
Go
question:
watch it in theater.
do you go and watch it in theaters? And if the answer is no, you need to fix that.
Then
Yeah,
at that
fix that.
point, it's time to start looking at the man in the mirror, bro.
Exactly. That actually, it's funny. I forgot to tell you about this, but when I was in Hawaii,
Huh?
I've been like boosting our posts on like Instagram, like paying for like the advertisement and stuff like that,
Oh,
just so
cool.
like more people see it.
Yeah.
And it's been working.
Nice.
Definitely have had like over 4,000 people look at like the account.
Fuck yeah,
Not
cool.
a lot of people follow, but You know, it's all good. It's neither
Go out there
here.
and follow.
That's neither here nor there.
Or
but
except for right here, right now, go out there and follow.
Exactly. But when you do that, obviously, a lot of different people get to see your shit. So,
Yeah.
you know, you get people that like it, and you get people that don't like it.
I
And
did hear a little bit about this.
There was like one dude that was like, because I posted like the Barbenheimer stuff, and he's like, man, I'm so glad I don't watch mainstream movies in theaters anymore. And I was like, dang, dude, that fucking sucked, because these movies were pretty fucking cool.
They're good.
Yeah, and he was like, all mainstream movies suck now, like, changed my mind. And I was like, first of all, brother, like, if you're saying that, you obviously didn't go watch these movies, so
you don't know if
your
they're bad.
argument's automatically invalid.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, also, like, on here, we're not trying to change your mind
That's not my job, man.
Exactly. Like, I'm not trying to change your mind and say, like, hey, nah, man, these movies are actually fucking cool, because I like what I like, and you like what you like. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, but, like, if you actually listen to the show, you would understand that we do have our gripes with, like, mainstream movies not being the best all the time.
All
you
the
know?
time.
And I was like, so, you know what, brother? Go and have a good day. Go to church or something. I hope you have a fucking blessed day. You know?
Get some God in you, friend.
And, yeah, and he was just like, and then also he was like, you know, because when you're in, this is, like, a little piece of advice, right? When you are in, like, an argument online with someone in the comments, what you got to do is you got to go to their page, and you got to just look at it, and you got to see what you're working with, right?
Yeah.
And this dude was like a comedian that, you know, granted was not, I personally didn't think was very fucking good. And like every time I like clicked on a video, he was doing a bit, I didn't hear anybody fucking laughing. And there was like a few, and I went to like a few of them. I went to some recent ones. I was like, didn't really hear people laughing. I went to one like in the middle, didn't really hear people laughing. And I went to that one, didn't hear people laughing. And I'm not proud of myself. I don't like really getting into arguments like that, because I really do think it is pointless to argue with someone that you don't know.
Sometimes you gotta know when to walk away.
But when someone's coming and talking out of their ass and like, mainstream movies are fucking stupid, and you didn't actually go and watch the movies, you're just fucking dumb, and you're just fishing for attention at that point.
No, I think...
So I told the homie, and I was just like, hey, man, because he had a joke about his student loans. He had a joke about how his mom didn't love him. And he had a joke about... something else. And I was just like, yeah, man, I hope you have a good day. Go write some new material, because these jokes just aren't fucking working, brother. Like, I'm sorry that I have to point that out to you.
But it ain't funny.
But it ain't funny. And then he was just like, he commented back, he's like, haha, like, thanks for showing me the support, man, since you went and fucking looked at my page, blah, blah, blah. And then he was just like,
thanks for doing the same, guy.
Yeah, I was like, thanks for doing the same and commenting on my post, because that's exactly what the advertisements were supposed to do.
Boom.
So you fell into the trap, motherfucker. But then he just went on this thing that like, oh, like going to the movies fucking sucks because these people are rude, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, dude, that's your fucking problem. And if you're not going, I was like, the whole problem that we're having right now with movies that aren't quote unquote like good and not mainstream being put into the theaters is because people like you, motherfucker, don't go to the theaters and watch those movies.
It's true.
So you don't even have a place to say anything when you're not doing the thing that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, man, you suck. Commented my last thing, went on his page, blocked him.
That's
my favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite thing. But yeah, that happened, and I was just like, damn, this is fucking fools are really out here just fishing for attention.
Oh, big time. Yeah. No, I've not. It's not been lost on me to engage in some internet arguing from time to time. I think there's been like 2 that I can really remember where I was like actually really going back and forth with somebody, but that shit just makes me laugh. Like the type of like upsetness that people can engage in with like completely random strangers over a like such a like it's one thing to like get pissed at somebody and like, you know, whatever, puff your chest up in a bar or something, right? Because it's like that somebody's right there in front of me and it's like, what, you want to go, bro? And then I just think it's like it's such a crazy thing that we've all collectively just like, for the most part, I think moved that over to the internet, like of just behind a keyboard of like fuck you with this, fuck you with that. But it happens, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun. Don't do it all the fucking time, because that makes you probably not so maybe that's a questionable character choice to be engaging in that shit all the time. But every once in a while it's fun to vent, to just get your fucking shit out of like whatever. This dude's pissed. I'm pissed. Let's just fucking fight really quick.
Yeah.
And then you say goodbye and it's over. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. It was just frustrating for me because I was like, damn, bro, this is like the first time in a while that I can remember where we've had two movies that are on the very opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of genre and messaging and what, everything that goes on in the movies are very much complete opposites, right? And I think that was one part of the appeal of the weekend was like, damn, we have two of these movies that are very different, that are both very big. They're coming out on the same day. But the fact that both of them did very, very well is like insane. And for someone to be like hating on that obviously didn't go and watch them, like that is the main problem that like I think the movie industry has, is like there is movies like that come out that could be as big. Maybe they're not as good, but I think have the potential to be pretty close to that, but people just don't go and see.
No, yeah, and that's like the thing that's funny is it's like, at least for me personally, that's totally fine. Like if you see a clip of something or you see a little bit of something, or even if you just hear about something and you're like, I don't think that's for me, I don't want to watch that. Cool, what the fuck ever. I don't care. Call it trash if you want. Just don't go after somebody who does like that thing and try to bring them down about it.
Says
that's
more
all.
about you than it does the other person.
That's all it is. Dislike whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck. But if I like something, don't tell me that it's like trash just because.
You like that, bro? That's fucking crazy.
Like that's just
dude, that's fucking crazy that you
Yeah,
like that. I can't believe you fucking like that,
that's
bro.
just intense.
You fucking seriously like that, dude?
It's okay.
You fucking like that?
It's whatever happened to you,
dude? You fucking like that?
whatever happened to you
You
that made
fucking-
you that
dude,
made
you
you this
fucking-
way.
You fucking like that, dude?
It's okay. It's okay.
Dude, you fucking like that, bro?
Dude, you fucking like that, bro?
Dude, what? You fucking you fucking like that, bro?
Dude, you fucking like being this way, bro?
That's fucking
What?
crazy. Dude, you fucking like that? Dude, when I was looking for my lighter, I felt. Do you know who Yeet is? The rapper Yeet. He's fucking cool. You might not get him. I'm gonna be honest. Like his style is very like niche and very like.
Probably not my cup of tea.
Probably not your cup of tea. You might be able to see the appeal, but it might not appeal to you.
Yeah.
But
100%.
there's just this viral clip of him like he's like on live, and he does like perks, like Percocet and fucking all that shit. And there's this one clip where he's like looking around. He's like, "Fuck, man." He's like, "I lost my perk, bro." He's like, "I can't find where it's at." He's like, "You guys see where I put my perk?" And he's just like looking around
the comments.
yeah, and he's just like, and it's just funny because like there's a video where like it speeds up him like looking for it because he goes around like
For a while.
I don't know if it's like his room or like his studio, like his little home studio, but he's just like going around like picking up everything, bro, and like
that's
looking
good.
for it, and it's just fucking hilarious.
That's good.
Like,
I like it.
there's like a video where it's like sped up and then have the
Oh yeah.
and just like looking for it. It's fucking hilarious.
Classic.
But I felt like that because
I
I
was
couldn't
gonna
find the
say,
lighter.
I saw
and I
you
was
for
just
a
like-
minute. You were searching, dude.
I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. 100%.
I felt like that, but
Goddamn.
hell yeah, guys, go support lower budget movies because we're gonna talk about
If you want
some
to.
lower budget movies.
If you want to.
Nah, do it.
Don't just do it because.
Nah, do it just because.
Don't just do it because. Have an identity. Go watch what you want to watch and don't watch what you don't want to watch. Don't go do something because somebody told you to.
Exactly. But you know what? Sometimes go watch something you think you might not like
Oh yeah, challenge yourself. That's
because
fine. That's
you
fine.
might end up liking that.
That's true. You might.
You know?
Or at the very worst, you could say you're right and you didn't like the thing. Go watch something you don't think you're gonna like. If you like it, cool, good surprise. If you don't, you know yourself so well, man. It's crazy.
See? We're like a health and wellness podcast.
100%.
You know? We're
Well, this
drinking drinks that have 100% agave nectar and juice in there.
So
They also
we're
get you fucked up.
We're really hydrated. We're
Yeah.
not inebriated at all.
And we're telling you to, be your own person and go out and challenge yourself.
We're about
Hold your own morals and ideals
yeah,
and thoughts
movie mental
and
awareness.
theories.
Movie mental awareness, man.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on to the big main portion of the show. This is episode number 69. So it's
Yeah.
like, why not talk about some movies that involve fucking, bro? Because I think that is like the cornerstone to the movie industry is sex.
No, it actually to pretty much all industries, a lot of the times. But yeah, it's episode 69.
69.
Sex
And
Drive, Superbad.
Yeah, I know we said Zack and Miri make a porno as well, but I
We did say it on the podcast. Huh?
think we're gonna save that one. You know, we're gonna save that one. That is like
I was gonna.
it's a nice like rom-com as well, so I think that fits in like a good rom-com category. Whereas these, the focus
it's pretty
is
much
sex.
just sex. Yeah, the whole
It's
time.
sex, and it's also coming of age as well. These are two like coming of age stories, you know, friendship and everything.
Yeah.
But it's about sex, guys.
Big time.
And we got Sex Drive, and we also got Superbad.
Yep.
And I feel like let's talk about Sex Drive
Cool.
first, because
We got a Superbad Sex Drive.
This is new for you. It's a new movie for
first
you.
time I ever saw it. Yeah.
I've watched this before, and it is I like it a lot.
As do I.
It's a great movie. I think it's again another one of those like cult classic comedies that like has like a smaller like fan base, you know. But I think it still holds up with that era of like the Superbads, you know,
Big time. I agree.
and stuff like that.
I was telling you, I think right before we got started that like, excuse me, I don't know if it's just because I've seen Superbad so many times at this point, and this was like a fresh watch for me. Fresh wash.
It's always good to have a fresh wash.
You gotta have a fresh wash. But I enjoyed this movie more in these two viewings. I had a better time with this movie than I did with Superbad. But again, I've seen Superbad like a bunch. So
yes. But Sex Drive, lovable teen Ian has always been the best friend, not the boyfriend, and he thinks he's the last American virgin. Then online he meets Danielle, who is pretty, sweet, and really seems to like him. The trouble is, Ian and Danielle live in different parts of the country. When she makes him an offer he can't refuse, Ian steals his brother's 69 GTO and sets out to meet her in person and lose his virginity. Pretty great that the year of the car is 1969, and this is episode number 69.
I would like to make an amendment to that description because up until maybe the end of the movie, I don't even remember, her name is Miss Nasty.
Miss Tasty.
Miss Tasty, sorry. Miss Tasty, not Danielle. He specifically asked what her name is, and she does not tell him. So watch it.
I was reading that too, and I was like,
watch it, Google users. Yeah. Who's this Danielle character you're speaking about?
But, this is, for me, this is freaking hilarious. Directed by Sean Anders. There is a regular theatrical version. There's also an unrated version. I watched like the regular version a long time ago. So I watched the unrated version, and they definitely the creators, the writers, and the directors do have like a
little blurb at
blurb in the beginning when you watch the unrated one. Like, hey, if you've never watched Sex Drive before,
don't watch this version.
Go and watch the theatrical one because you get more of just what the story is and what they showed in theaters. Whereas like the unrated version is more of like a good director's cut of like something that's just funny. They threw in a lot of silly stuff. There's a lot more tits, as they say. There's a lot more cock on there,
too,
and it's it's all in good fun. It's hilarious. Watching the unrated version, it's definitely like they just throw shit in like random points where like there's like a scene where someone's like walking a dog outside, and the person like exits the screen, and then just like a naked chick is just running on the screen, and you're like, wow,
okay,
this is
interesting.
Great. Yeah, and there's like a part where like in the beginning scene where like in the mall, and I forget like what point is it, but like the camera like points down like one part of the mall, and like a naked girl is just like walking up, but then it like pans out and it like moves, like you lose focus of her because like a character actually like walks in.
Okay.
It was,
I wonder if that was meant to
shit.
just be like a running gag that they were trying to put in the movie, where it's like every once in a while you're just gonna see this naked chick running by all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's a lot of points where it's just like there's just random naked.
Yeah. I like, that's why, because I pulled up the unrated version first, and they had that blurb in the beginning. They said that, and I took their word for it. I was like, okay. Also, I was short on time because the unrated version's like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. Regular one's only like 149.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm also gonna save myself some time and just like get this done. But I think it's good. I mean, I didn't see the director's cut, but like nothing seemed lost on me. Which is like, I think the case for most like director's cuts or unrated cuts or whatever. Like, you probably want to watch the original one first so that you can get the added value that comes from like the special cut afterwards and whatnot. Like if you just watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'd be like, this movie's too fucking long. Like if that was all that came out, right?
But if you watch the shitty version that was released
Yeah.
in theaters, you're like, damn, this is way better.
Yeah, and then you get the 4 hours. You're like, cool. Yeah, I'm down
Yeah.
with this. It's legit.
Hell yeah. But yeah, this movie was great. Like I said, I haven't watched this in a long time, so this was almost like a fresh watch for me.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like I forgot like the complete twist like at the end with Miss Tasty not being who Miss Tasty said
It's
she was.
really intense.
Yeah, super fucking intense.
I thought it was gonna end. As we usually do, we're gonna jump all over the movie, so don't worry about it. But like, I thought it would end when they just jack the car and then leave. But then that like turns into like a whole little fucking showdown moment, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy!"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone shows up from the movie,
Yeah.
except for like
the parents, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I had so much fun with this. Like, it is obviously like a jarring title, Sex Drive. Like, if you're someone that, and it is like a jarring movie as 100%. Well. Like, if you're someone that's very like uncomfortable with shit like watching stuff like this, and some people might be, you know, it's definitely okay. Like, you know,
probably not for you.
Yeah, probably not for you,
Which
but. It's
totally fine.
Such a fucking hilarious movie. Again, like a really nice, like good low budget comedy that I think isn't like around as much today.
Yeah,
and it's nice going back and watching these and remembering how like. I mean, I feel like these movies aren't just great because they're funny, but when you get down to it, like they're written very, very well. Like all the characters are written very well. They all have like their good shining moments. Like. I feel like this also came at a time where like it was very popular to have like a trio of characters, to run around with, as like, you know, Superbad also does. But like it's such a good movie. It's also like has like some good heart to it as well. It's not just this fucking funny, quirky, like raunchy ass like movie.
It's not totally just like oh, sex is funny the whole time.
Yeah,
there's a good few moments,
and I think that speaks more to like the creativity of the writers, because it's easy to just write a movie that's like haha all this shit's funny, but to also have like this really good underlying story, like where
intertwined,
where the character does like ultimately change by the end and stuff like that, and all the characters change by the end. They realize things about themselves, blah blah. Like that's super fucking good. What
I really liked about it, and like, to be perfectly honest, maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into this here, but what I liked about the movie, what I got from like the change in character, was that like there's this push for Ian to be more like Lance. And Lance is a douche. Lance is charming as shit, and I love Clark Duke. I think he's a hilarious actor, but he's kind of a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Very demeaning, very just like,
1000%.
Hey man, you gotta just be fucked
just
up.
Just be
to
a dick
girls.
to chicks and they'll want to fuck you, basically. That's like his motto. But Lance is trying to push him to be more like him. Go take the chance on Miss Tasty and like just go out there and have meaningless sex and just get it over with, right? Or whatever. And at the same time, his best friend, what the fuck is her name?
Felicia.
Felicia, thank you. Is like, at first you think maybe just looking out for him as a friend because they're best friends since they were like kids, like first or second grade or some bullshit like that. So like at first it kind of just seems like they're, you know, she's looking out for him. Then it starts to get like maybe a little bit overboard and annoying.
A little twat blocking.
Yes, a little twat blocking, good term in the movie. And then Lance kind of like levels it out for basically everybody, fucking Ian and the audience, if you didn't catch on to it already, which is the fact that Felicia and Ian are in love with each other, but they're just being stupid about it because it's a rom-com.
Which is very, like...
It's rom-com.
It's rom-com. It's very, like, cliche, I guess you would say, but I think it's, like... I think it's a very...
It's handled well.
It's handled well, and I think a very realistic, like, real-world cliche, you know?
Well, the other thing, too, is it's, like... Rom-coms are popular for a reason. They're simple by nature, but simple doesn't mean bad.
Yeah.
You can do simple really well and have it be super effective. And I think this movie shows that. But
yeah, it's simple at its core, but then they're like, all right, let's just throw them on this wacky adventure.
Yeah, that makes it funny and just takes the whole thing to like a different level. Yeah.
Which I think what we were saying a little bit more, which is why you might have liked it a little bit more than Superbad, or like why it was, I think, more refreshing for you, is because it is this simple story, but it's on this grander scale where they have this very big
road
adventure.
Trip. Yeah.
This 9-hour road trip to fucking, what is it, like Knoxville, Tennessee?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I like it. What I really enjoyed was that the tug and pull that the character was, if the main character was feeling, he found a happy middle ground by the end of the movie, right? Like, he learned that, like, okay, yeah, maybe he doesn't need to be so sheepish all the time, and he could probably stand up for himself a little more, blah, blah, blah. But he doesn't go, like, full dick, which is nice. And I thought it was cool. I was like, that's I think that's a little bit, again, it's pretty simple. It's not like amazing. I definitely overreading into it for sure. It's not like fucking Shakespeare or anything like that. But there is a nice character development for sure, where like he kind of finds his own path of like, nah, I'm just gonna do it this way, and it's cool, and it works good. I like it.
Yeah, it was fucking. I think every character in this like is very like unique, and I think a testament to the times, like a more focus on like every character being their own individual character and not just like this random person in the background. Because you have like his brother who's very distinct, you know, very like homophobic, you know, and shit like that, calls him a queer, all that fucking shit, and he's just like very jarring. And you have, you know, Lance, who is like that, you know, womanizer, he's a douche, blah blah, all that. You have Ian, who is more reserved. You have Felicia, who's Felicia, and she's fucking great and stuff like that. But
Felicia's,
then you have like Seth Green's character, fucking Ezekiel, who's the Amish
funny.
dude, and fucking
he's my favorite, I think.
Yeah, like everyone is just like awesome. It's hard to like. There's not one character that I dislike in this fucking movie.
Yeah, they do a like good job too of like what I think is like I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking this because we just watched Vacation, but like it's coming to me as like a road trip thing where it's like they meet all these characters at the different stops on their road trip. And then by the end of the movie, somehow, for some stupidly funny reason, which in this case it is pretty stupidly funny, they all end up there at the same place at the end again. And it's good. It's fucking hilarious. It makes sense. Like it
like they wove it together like really well.
It doesn't feel too jarring.
Where everyone showing up actually makes sense, and it's not just like, oh my god, like you're here, like like in European Vacation when they just run into the dude in the fountain, right? It's like, Rex is there because he has this bad dream about the fucking car, and then he realizes he opens up like the spare key and like it's not there, so he goes back, right? So definitely. It makes sense. Like he figures everything out. The fucking the jealous ex-boyfriend, like Rick or whatever, which it was cool to see him because he's a Walking Dead character, so it was interesting to see him in something. Yeah, he's in The Walking Dead. He plays this dude. I think it's Abraham, and he kind of is like sort of the same type of character, like in The Walking Dead. He's like this army fucking dude and shit like that. So
yeah, that was a good one. That was my favorite pull around because earlier when Lance is like running out of the house and they like escape, Ian asked him, he's like, "Where's the fucking Google Maps, bro?" Because it's like 2008, so they're still printing Google Maps to fucking find directions and shit. And he's like, "Oh, I left him in my pants," and it's like a throwaway line. It's funny, it's upsetting, whatever. He fucked up, right? And they go on, and then the end of the movie comes and he shows up and he's like, "I found your fucking Google Maps, bitch!" And he like fucking throws him at his face, and I was like, "Oh fuck, that was good." Like, okay, makes sense.
Exactly, like something super subtle, like you were saying, that seems like this throwaway thing that is haha funny in the moment, you know, like, oh my god, I forgot the maps and they're in my pants in the fucking trailer. We can't go back because this dude's gonna fucking kill us, whatever. And then just boom, it comes back. Yeah, I thought everything like those were things that I noticed on this like fresh watch where I was like, wow, that was very clever. And I was very not taken back, but very impressed with like the writing. Because like I was saying, it's very easy to make something like this sex drive. Sex is funny to a lot of people, you know. It's very easy to make this like a haha funny movie, but they were very clever in what they did and how they wrote the characters and their storyline and stuff like that. And I thought it was very, very, very good. Very, very good.
No, I agree. The main trio is like pretty strong. You don't like get them all together until like maybe a third of the way through the movie, but once they are together, they feel very cemented as like a long-time friend group. Like you buy, first of all, I don't know what it was about like Clark Duke just being this like absolute like slayer in like the 2000s or whatever, but I feel like that's what he is every time. He's like the unsuspecting like nerdy dude who's really good with the girls or whatever. But it's not unbelievable to me that he's like this super popular dude who is also, I would say, like best friends probably with Ian, right? And then also there are Ian and Felicia are best friends, and then by proxy he's got like a dynamic. So like it works well. They don't have to over explain it or anything. It's just in their banter. It feels good. They feel like friends.
What did you think about the opening scene with him in like the donut fucking costume?
Oh, with the fucking dildo on the front? That shit was funny, bro. That shit cracked me the fuck up. I'm not gonna lie. I knew it as soon as he fucking came up and you see him and he's like, and just walks away and starts laughing. I was like, there's fucking dick on that donut. He fucking pans out and he's right there, and that chick was cracking me up, honestly.
That was the one thing I remember very vividly from when I watched it a long time ago. Was like that scene, because that's such a, to me, like a very iconic and just hilarious, like, because it's a ridiculous fucking costume. This fool's in a full ass donut costume, and he has to work the mouth, and his head's just an eyeball. So of course he has this limited field of view, right?
Yeah.
And then just walking around like, and when he walks up to like the dad and the girl, he's like, "I got something tasty for your little girl." And
he
the
fucking
dude
punches
just
him down the stairs and shit. Yeah, no, that was good.
It's
I
fucking
also love
hilarious.
too. It cracks me up because like when he finally gets helped up by Felicia and Lance later, like Lance grabs it off and he's like, "Oh, dude, not again."
Yeah,
it's
he's like,
like,
"Oh, it's like a tree trunk."
You poor bastard. Yeah.
He's like, "Is there a dildo on me again?" He's like, "Yeah, man, you got a little tree trunk."
Tree trunk on, yeah. That again though, also a really good detail that is just a funny thing in the moment that gets brought back later, which is like when he's talking to them, he's still working the mouth, right? And they're like, "Dude, you're working the mouth. Like, you gotta stop." And he's like, "Sorry, it's like a habit or whatever." And then at the end, when he's like having his little badass moment, he's got everybody down with like the gun and shit. He's in the costume. And he's working the mouth again, and everybody's kind of tripping on it. And then Lance is like, "Dude, you're working the mouth again." He's like, "I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like, let me do what I'm gonna do." Like, it's fucking funny, dude. It's good shit.
and it's funny because that's such a nice moment because he says that, and Lance is just like, "All right, dude, okay." And it's like that's all we ever had to do was just like, "Yeah, man, this is what I do. Like, I don't care." And everyone's just like, "All right, yeah, cool. That's cool.
If that's you, that's you, dude. Yeah, 100%. Yeah."
So yeah, that's a fucking I like the hold up. The hold up is super fucking hilarious because the dude's like, "Hey man, you're not gonna shoot. You're not gonna shoot anyone."
Shoots in the air.
Anyone can shoot in the air, man. Like, and then he shoots him in the leg.
And he's like laying there dying. He's like, "Anybody can shoot somebody in the leg, man. That doesn't mean anything." Yeah, that shit was good. Yeah. And then he fucks him up too. I was honestly that was good because it was funny, and it was also very satisfying to see Ian come into his own, but B, do it in front of all of the people who have been pressuring him to do so. And like, again, seeing him find a way to like do it his own way. He doesn't take the like traditional approach, right? He shows up in the fucking donut costume and holds everybody up and shit like that. So like, it's good. It felt like a very Ian way to resolve the situation, and I liked it.
Yeah, I liked the fucking like the themed motel that everyone was like staying at. That shit was
the disco inferno, like, it's like the fucking fireman in the back, and like it's all flaming, and you like press the fire truck, and it's like, "Hey, burn, baby, burn."
And then they have the ocean one where Lance and I think Mary are in?
Oh yeah, the Amish girl that he falls in love with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit, the Amish shit was super fucking
that
funny,
was funny,
bro.
Dude. Yeah. What is that shit called? Rumspringa!
Rumspringa!
Yeah. Woo! Everybody in the background just, woo! Yeah.
I have had one beer.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
She's all throwing up.
I love it. Dude.
That shit was fucking great because Seth Green is just, I think anytime Seth Green shows up in any show or any movie, he's fucking hilarious.
He's funny.
He's hilarious in fucking Austin Powers.
Yep.
He's hilarious in That 70s Show.
Yep.
Very different from Austin Powers, and he's in this show, in this movie, which is fucking
also good.
Like That 70s Show-esque, but like if That 70s Show was turned up to like 15, you know.
And also he's just been in Family Guy forever too, dude.
Yeah.
He's been Chris for how many fucking years? How many seasons that's on? Yeah. No, dude's a goat, man. He's fucking funny.
Yeah, but the way he just like plays his character, where he says stuff, where he says stuff.
Yeah.
And you know when this guy just says stuff, you know, man. But when he says things and you don't know if he's being serious or he's joking, you know, like, yeah, man, like this is what I do. Like I just love like fixing people's cars for free, you know?
Yeah, it's again good writing too, because like when he's writing in the thing for the first time, Lance asks him, like, "What do you miss about the real world?" And he's like, "I miss sarcasm, man. It's like it's kind of lost on my people." It's like, damn it, you bastards, you got it again. They're good, dude. They're fucking solid.
Yeah, I like that, and because like it's so funny when they're like just literally dismantling the whole fucking car, and then he's like, "Listen, man, you don't know anything about these
how these old Pontiacs are made." Yeah, that's just funny. You would I don't know anything about how them old Pontiacs are made either, so if that's the way that you do it, cool. But I'm not gonna lie, if I walked up and I asked a dude to fix my car and I saw my seats on the ground and all this shit, I would also assume they was fucking with me. Like I would be upset. Like, what the fuck's going on, man?
They were just fucking laughing at him, dude. Yeah, that shit was. God, that shit
yeah,
was
he's like,
so
what does
funny.
he say? He's like, "You don't understand. My brother's gonna kill me. He's gonna fuck me with a roll of quarters." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's gonna get out of work early, go to the bank, stand in line, change a 10, find my ass, and fuck it with a roll of quarters." This shit's so good, dude. Like, I was cracking up, man. Some of those lines are fucking funny, dude. I loved it. But yeah,
I think it's very tasteful in how they constructed the whole movie, because it's very easy to go overboard with the sex jokes and just this movie is centered on sex, so
100%.
But it's easy to just be like sex joke after sex
Only
joke
the
after
whole
sex
time,
joke.
yeah.
But they do it very tastefully, and it's done in a very good way.
No, it's solid. Yeah, the other character that I actually really liked too, and probably made me laugh the most as like an individual character, is Rex.
Yeah,
Rex is funny in retrospect, because like for the whole all of the movie, like his jokes were making me laugh for sure, but I was like, ooh, fuck, like this is a little intense. Like this maybe is just one of those ones that's old, like, all right, it's same deal as Vacation, whatever. But then they get to the end and they do like the sometimes very real thing of like, yeah, the dude who's like really loudly homophobic is actually gay at the end, and that shit just was like such a good turn at the end of it. I was like, oh, okay, good, all right, they saved it. That shit was funny.
It was just funny when he comes out at Thanksgiving and the dad's just all fucking pissed and like flips over the turkey.
They like cut, and he's like, my dad was cool with it by around Christmas.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, we just we got you this present. Here you go.
What does he say? He's like, Merry Christmas. He's like, and then he's sitting there and he's like, oh my god, a juicer. He's like, I'm gonna have to get some fruit, and he's like, well, more fruit. It's so fucking dumb. It's so
and
funny.
Again, what's this fucking
Scott Marsden?
Yeah,
James Marsden.
James Marsden. He is just like, he's so funny because I don't think like he comes off like as just like a regular person like that way, but him just to play a character like that and just be so into it and so like, all right, this is just the character that I'm playing. Like, it's fucking hilarious.
He's good, man. The more and more that I've seen of him, the more and more I think he's like a little bit of a slept-on actor. Like, I think he probably gets a lot of shit because he played Cyclops, and Cyclops is like a bit of a boring character, at least as far as I know. Maybe I haven't done the work to like see why he's cool, but like, yeah, I like him. I think he's really good, and everything that I've seen him in, I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
James Marsden is a good guy.
Yeah, I think fuck, dude. Yeah, this movie was it was fun, dude. It was such a fun watch. Like, obviously it's one of those ones, like, I don't know if you're going to throw it on with the family, it just depends on
probably not.
Depends on the type of movies your family likes,
If like you and your dad are cool, you could probably watch this with your dad and crack up. But otherwise, if like the sex talk was really awkward with your parents, do not fucking watch this movie.
Yeah. But it's fucking hilarious. And I think it's I don't know if I've said it before, but I think this is one of those like slept on like early fucking.
I agree.
Early fucking
yeah,
movies.
no.
And again, shout out to my friends Adam and Dom. Like they put me onto this movie like early on. And
wow, yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
No, I agree. I'm sad that it took me this long to watch it because it's pretty good. I like it quite a bit. I think it for sure stands up to the next movie we're about to talk about easily.
Yeah, what would you rate Sex Drive?
Like an 8, like a good strong 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like phenomenal. I think I told you before, like personally, I don't know if I'll ever give a comedy movie like a perfect 10 because, like, I don't know. In general, they don't seem like they're trying to be masterpieces to me anyway. So, like, a strong 8 or a 9 is probably like that's where I'd put it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think personally I would give this a 9. Like when I watched it back, like I think it was super funny. Damn, I'd even talk about like the two. Like the brothers are like friends. Like those fools are so fucking.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, their ability to open up is absolutely astounding. But they can't close for shit.
Man. Yeah,
they're funny, and them end up being like the two dudes in the
green
fucking
car the whole time.
Green car.
Yeah.
That was fucking.
That was funny.
Hilarious.
They're at the end, and they're like, fucking the police woman is like taking the report from Felicia. And she's like, any other details? And she's like fucking ratting on him hard, like getting all the shit out. And he's like, yeah, also we were banging her in the back of our car. And he's like, yeah, we're banging her really hard. And they're like, yeah, you mentioned that already.
They're just so fucking funny. I like their little fucking, like, when they did that. In the
yeah.
Fucking, we got to do that for
the dude always fucking. The dude always spitting too after his fucking lines. Yeah. That's funny, dude. Yeah.
Dude.
No, they were good.
Who are those? Who are those
the dude with the
actors?
long hair looked super familiar to me. I don't know what I've seen him in, but the other Keith brother, the shorter haired brother, I don't really know.
They're Andy and Randy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Charlie McDermott and Mark L. Young. Oh, also his fucking little brother Dylan was pretty fucking funny.
That shit was funny.
Yeah, when his coworker Becca comes,
yeah,
he's like, "Oh my god, like I'm glad you like changed your mind because he invited her to fucking Lance's party or whatever."
He's
like,
brother.
"Actually, have you seen? I'm here to see Dylan. You know he's 14.
Yeah, he's like, Dylan,
Right.
my 14-year-old brother, Dylan. Yeah, that shit's good, dude.
Yeah, and then when he comes back home from the party and his brother's like, yeah, smell my fingers.
Yeah, he's like,
Are you sure you put it in the right hole? He's
yeah,
like,
that shit made me laugh too because
Oh.
he's like, hey, want to smell my fingers? And he's like, gross. And he's like, but for real. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah, all right.
That shit was funny, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
movie.
ass.
I
Good
liked
ass
it.
movie.
I liked it.
Yeah, now we're going to be moving on to a classic.
A certified banger.
Certified classic. Not just a cult classic, but a classic in just, I think, just every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Movie.
Especially for this kind of like 2000s raunchy comedy. I don't know if there's another one that is this unanimously loved.
And you guys can fucking guess it. It's motherfucking Superbad.
Bad.
God, I forgot how much I love this movie, and it's so fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
So, give your experience watching this movie again. For I don't know, when was the last time you watched this movie?
I haven't seen it in like at least probably like maybe 4 or 5 years. It's been like a while. Like I haven't watched this since I was closer to high school for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This experience for me was more or less the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will say part of the magic of this movie is maybe a little bit lost on me at this point just because of how many times I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the most engaging movie to me anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't help but not laugh and love all of the classic jokes in this movie. Like there's too much that's just like embedded in my brain that like everybody was saying when we were like middle schoolers and like early high school and shit like that. Like these lines were just coming out of everybody's mouths when we were kids, right? That to like not laugh a little bit, to like not chuckle and have a good time for sure. But I will say, watching it this time, I was like a little more taken out of it for sure. Like there was times where I was like, all right, at this, like now I feel like I'm waiting. When I watched this movie, when I watched it this last time, it felt like I was waiting for each of the jokes that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like anything in between. I was having a hard time finding myself giving a shit about. But when the jokes would come, I was down.
Mm-hmm.
So it was different. It was definitely an interesting experience because I haven't busted it on in a while, and like to not be so thrilled about it as I used to be was definitely trippy to me. I was like, oh, okay, this is different experience for me now.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, it's a different, like, I think now when you just like watch it as an adult, you're a little bit taken out of it just because like
it's more like relatable when you're still young.
Yeah, when you're
still
young
a
and you're
kid.
seeing all this shit, it's like, fuck,
In like in
this
high
is-
school or like
Yeah.
middle school or whatever.
But then when you've gone through experiences like that and you're like more in your adult life, you're like, yeah. It's to me, it's one of those movies like when I have kids, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm excited to fucking, I'm gonna show my son this fucking movie. This shit's gonna be fucking hilarious, you know?
yeah, totally.
But yeah. So just a little, if you guys don't know Superbad,
Well,
if
you
you've
know,
never watched
but we'll-
Superbad, that
yeah.
shit's fucking crazy. But
We'll talk about it anyway.
Two inseparable best friends navigate the last weeks of high school and are invited to a gigantic house party. Together with their nerdy friend, they spend a long day trying to score enough alcohol to supply the party and inebriate 2 girls in order to kickstart their sex lives before they go off to college. Sounds a little rapey, but that's neither here nor there.
Big time.
Their quest is complicated after one of them falls in with 2 inept cops who are determined to show him a good ass time. And yeah, this movie, it just hits for me every time. It's one of those like classic movies like a Step Brothers, like a fucking The Other Guys, or anything like in that just super over the top funny comedy. Like I love it. And
it's a Seth Rogen, Judd Apatow, Bill Hader, like
just classic.
brand
Evan
of
Goldberg.
comedy. Yeah, brand of comedy. It's just good shit, dude.
Yeah, and I just it's interesting watching, like, I always consider, like, movies that I watch now as, like, a 25-year-old, it's always, like, more of, like, a fresh watch because, I don't know, I just feel like you look at things, like, a little bit different. You've got your life a little bit more, you're a little bit more of an adult, blah, 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 whatever. But it's interesting to watch these movies, and it was, it was still funny to me, like, everything, like him going to the fucking, that random house party and dancing with the girl and getting the period blood on the fucking...
Blood Brothers, bro.
Yeah. And what is that stain on your fucking? Hey, what is that stain on your fucking pants, bro? Like,
Like, I don't know. What do you mean? Like, dude, I think somebody fucking perioded on you, bro. This dude's got period blood on his leg, man.
Yeah, and then when the dude's like, "All right, like I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I have a warrant out for my arrest for nonviolent crime.
Oh
Just gonna say
yeah,
it like that
fucking
shit, like,
Joe fucking Trio or
something
something like yeah. He's a funny actor.
He's like, hey, do you know Jimmy? Like,
Yeah.
you look just like his brother, man.
Just like his brother.
Yeah.
He fucking does the. You look just like his brother, man. Just like his brother. Like all down on the knees and shit. It's so fucking good, dude.
Yeah,
He's fucking funny, dude.
it was just fucking funny. It was just funny looking at it in retrospect, like when he first shows up with like his fake ID, and it's funny just like watching like the different shots because you look at the overhead shots when they're looking at the actual ID, and you're like, all right, it looks kind of real. But then if you look at when Fogel is talking to like Seth and Evan, like you can see the back, and there's like nothing on the fucking
so
back,
bad, yeah,
and you're like, damn, that looks fucking so fucking bad.
What cracked me up so much about that scene is that like she didn't give a fuck, and still he starts going overboard, and like really you can tell that like he's not fucking 21 or whatever, but she's just like scanning everything and is totally gonna take his money and sell him the shit, and he's like. I forget what he says, but he's
like, oh yeah, I love that. I love that stuff. He's like, been drinking it for years.
Yeah. Just like really overselling this shit, man. And then all of a sudden he says something and she's like, all right, I'm going to need to see some ID. And I'm like, damn, bro, you had it. Just shut the fuck up and let her scan your shit.
I remember when I first started, like one of the early cell phones that I had like a Samsung. I forget what it was called, but it like slid and it had like the keyboard and you can like slide it down.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like the regular phone, then you slide it up and it had like the big ass fucking keyboard and shit.
Yeah.
But I had so many like little audio fucking clips from Superbad
on there, yeah.
Like I had like it was funny because I still remember those. Like it was funny to have like just a bunch of those random things like on your phone.
Yeah.
And like I had the one when they're outside the liquor store and like Fogel just like doesn't want to go, like he's starting to like get a little scared, get a little cold feet to go in and use his fake ID.
Yeah.
And Seth is like, this whole thing is bigger than you, Fogel.
Yeah.
So I want you to just grow a pair of nuts and walk in there and buy the alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, what if I don't feel like it anymore, Seth? What? Then I'll kill you, okay? I'll get a knife and I'll stab you through your fucking heart.
Yeah.
Like I used to have that as like an audio clip. That shit's
yeah.
so fucking funny, dude. And it's interesting to see like now, like obviously Jonah Hill is still Jonah Hill and he's grown into what he is now in different roles. Like, you know, wrote and everything, 21 Jump Street, did mid-90s. He's done Moneyball and stuff like that.
He's big time now.
But to see like how like Michael Cera is very much like a typecasted sort of like character. He has branched out and done like different types of things here and there. But like he got typecasted. Same
he's
with
Michael
fucking
Cera for the most
he's
part.
a Michael Cera. But it's interesting to see them like early on in their like careers and like this being the movie that like propelled them to be
in
who
the,
they
stardom,
are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was a couple of times where, like, again, this is just like you were saying. I think this just has to do with like the just getting older and like starting to have like different perspective on stuff. Not that we're like crazy old or anything.
Yeah,
like
we're not
that.
old by any means.
But we're older than we were in high school, so we have slightly different perspectives than what those used to be, right? And so there were certain times in the movie where like it was hard for me because like I kept having to turn it off. I was like, no, just shut that part up. Like that's not what this movie is trying to be. But there was a couple times where I was like, damn, Seth fucking sucks, bro. Seth's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, it's
damn.
the same. I was thinking the same thing, and it's like it's sort of the same thoughts I had with Vacation. When you watch Vacation and
when you're a kid, you don't
when you're
give a
watching
fuck.
Clark Griswold and you're like, damn, this fool fucking sucks ass. And then you watch this movie and you're like, damn, Seth sucks ass.
He's kind of a dick.
But you understand it. It comes from the insecurity of like
losing
just
his best
being
friend.
losing his best friend and also being just like in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what the fuck, you know.
You know what you're supposed to do, man.
You don't know what you're supposed to do. Some people are just being pieces of shit.
Yeah, big
like,
time.
you know. But yeah, you are like, damn, you are a piece of shit fucking friend. But then at the end, he
comes around.
He comes around, and you know, he comes clean. Like I thought, like I really liked that writing. Like at the end, him being like, when Seth's just like, yeah, man, the other day when you went and you were taking a shit, which is hella funny in its own right. Then he's like, I looked at your like housing papers. He's like,
oh yeah,
I knew that you were housing with like Fogel or whatever, and like you start to understand his character and everything that he does like makes sense. You're like, oh, like
he's lashing out.
You've known for a while and you're lashing out, but you just don't understand how to actually communicate your feelings because it's funny because like they like allude to that like early on in the movie, like when Seth picks up Evan for like school or whatever, and then his mom comes out what's her name? Fucking like Jan or Jane
I
or
can't
something
remember.
like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, are you guys gonna miss each other?" And they're like,
Miss
each other. Like,
yeah.
nah, we don't
Yeah.
fucking like. And it's very much this dude like
Yeah.
way of thinking like, "Oh, we're fucking dudes, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we don't say we miss each other. We
We
love
don't
each
need
other.
that, it's
Like, you
fine.
know."
Yeah.
But then they learn at the end, like, hey, like it's okay to tell your guy friends like that you love them. Like
Yeah.
it's okay to show
Be
your
vulnerable,
love, to
man.
be vulnerable
Yeah,
and
yeah.
show your love for
Yeah,
everybody. You know.
100%, yeah.
So
No,
I thought that was really good.
that shit is really good, and it's also really funny too. At the
Mm-hmm.
end, where they're like sitting there in the sleeping bags together, and he's like all fucked up from the night, and he's like, "Yeah, when you went away to camp for that week, I fucking missed you, dude."
Yeah.
It's like I fucking missed you too. Like
It's funny because it's also a very like a drunk, vulnerable conversation
Yeah,
that you would have
100%.
if you've been drinking.
like kind of
and,
stammering on your words a
Yeah,
little bit,
exactly.
like
Stammering on your words, but also like
you know what you want to say.
you know what you want to say, and
Yeah.
when you get drunk, you open up. Because I'm very much like I'm a very lovey person when
Yeah.
I drink,
Oh,
so I
yeah,
understand
yeah.
that. Like when I drink and I get pretty drunk,
I tell all my friends
I
I
start
love
telling
them.
them like, "Hey man, I fucking love
I
you,
fucking
dude." Like, dude, when I had that big ass when my cousins came from Arizona and then we had that fucking they had that reunion and then I had the fucking 20 drinks or whatever the whole night.
yeah.
I just remember just being there like cuz I grew up with him. He moved to Arizona when I was still like pretty young,
Mhm.
but like we always like we went to the same school. Like his dad and my dad are pretty close,
Yeah.
and like, or actually, like, I'm not pretty close. They're really close. They're like fucking compas. They're fucking best friends or whatever. And so, you know, we would always get picked up together. We'd go over. We'd hang out all the fucking time. Like his parents would take me to school, or whatever. But like, he moved, and I hadn't, you know, actually hung out with them for a long time. But I was very much like, I was all drunk, and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I fucking love you, man. I was like, I'm sad that we didn't get to like grow up together.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see how you are now. Like shit,
Yeah,
shit,
dude,
shit
yeah,
just like that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
big time.
it's very understandable. It's like seeing it at the end of the movie, them
Mhm.
being drunk and like opening up, and then by the end just being like, yeah, man, like I gotta go, and him being like, hey, man, you don't have to go. Like,
Yeah,
you want to hang out or something?
Yeah. You want to sleep over at my house?
Yeah. Mom have those. You still have those pizza bagels?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, tons of them. Yeah, I love that shit, dude. There was just some funny moments too where like there was times where like again, this is probably just like not just thinking too hard about it, but there are some times where like I laughed at like how stupid the ideas that they would come up with, like the beer in the fucking liquid detergent shit.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, fucking dead. All of them
Yeah.
are fucked up
Yeah,
big
that
time.
shit's gross. It's green beer.
Yeah. But then secondly, I was like, he looks and the laundry detergent's right here and he's got like a fucking crate full of booze and then there's like a laundry basket right there. And I'm like, just put the booze in the basket and put a towel over and walk out the back, bro. But it's neither here or there. Just stupid little things where I was like, God damn it, they're so fucking dumb and in high school.
Yeah.
It's like, let's dump out the liquid detergent and put all the beer in here.
Shit's so funny.
Yeah.
It's fucking. I like the cops are fucking hilarious. Like
Oh,
Seth Rogen
dude,
and fucking Bill Hader.
Yeah.
And it's also funny knowing from retrospect that they were characters that, because this is like, I forget what, I think I was either watching an interview with Seth Rogen or listening to a podcast with Seth Rogen, but this is like a lot of stories that he compiled from like his childhood, like from high school and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
all like shit that happened to him,
It
but on a
makes
more
sense.
dramatized
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
level.
They have
you
to
know?
make it a well-functioning movie still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like these were characters that he like just wrote in to the movie.
Okay.
And like they're so fucking hilarious.
Hell
They're
yeah.
like one of the best parts. of the fucking
Arguably
movie.
the funniest part of the movie,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, their shit
Exactly.
with McLovin is fucking funny, dude. With Fogel is so good. Yeah, I love the the vulnerability that they have eventually as well too, right? Like they start off all hard and shit, like walking into the bar trying to be all crazy and everything or whatever, and then they just break down so fucking hard, and it's so hilarious. Especially Bill Hader, who like is all betrayed by Fogel at the end and shit, and like fucks him over. It's so good.
He's like, hey man, when we were your age, we hated cops.
Yeah,
But now we just we want to show people that like
cops are cool guys.
Cops are
dude.
pretty cool,
Yeah,
man.
cops are
And
pretty
like
cool.
when we saw you in the liquor store, we thought you were just we saw a little bit of us.
Yeah,
in
it's
you.
like we know you're not 21, man.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That shit was good.
Yeah, they were. Bill Hader. It's funny, like now Bill Hader getting his flowers as like a really great actor.
Oh yeah,
It's
sure.
just obviously from like Barry and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and stuff that he's like directed and stuff like that, and like
Bill
but you
Hader's awesome, dude.
He's awesome, and you see him in those early roles, and like
Mhm.
he's just fucking like
He's awesome.
hilarious.
I
He's
fucking love Bill Hader. Dude,
he's
yeah.
like hilarious, but if you take away just like the jokes and everything, like he's just such a great actor. Like that
Yeah.
scene with him like talking with Fogel is just it's a great scene. Like
Yep.
there's no like there is the underlying humor of like, hey man, like we're cops and we just wanted people,
yeah.
but it's like a good, nice, like touching scene, and it's fucking hella funny.
Definitely.
I fucking like the get on the ground, spread your shit.
Oh yeah, spread your shit, motherfucker. Yeah, that's good. I also love at the end too, just like the fucking bit where they're like sitting in the car or whatever, and it's like after everything's happened, and Seth Rogen's like character is like, all right, so somebody stole our car, fucked it up, blah blah this night. It's like, this is a form you're gonna sign that says all perfectly. That's exactly what happened, like a witness report. And he's like, yeah, cool. And then he's like standing there, and I forget what they say, but like when he hands him the gun for the first time, he's
Yeah.
like, oh, he
He's
like
like,
shoots
yeah,
it.
they like it's on fire whenever he's like, can we shoot at it? And
Yeah.
then Bill Hader's is like, I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, and he got the gun. Yeah, and he's just holding it there. It's like, oh, what does he say? Doesn't he say, brace yourself, fool, or some shit
he
like that?
shoots it for the first time. He's like, oh, and then he puts it sideways. He's like, break yourself, fool.
Break yourself,
And then
fool. Yeah,
fucking-
fucking yeah. That shit is funny, dude. I loved it.
That's another iconic line too.
Yeah.
Break yourself, fool.
Fucking from what's his name? Christopher Mintz-Plasse or Place, however you say it. I don't know. The actor Fogel McLovin.
Yeah. There's just so many great fucking
Just iconic ass shit, dude.
iconic shit when he's just like in the beginning when they're at the fucking gas station and he's just like, yeah man, I just wish we could live in a world where we can just walk around with our boners, and that's just like an acceptable fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah man, he's like, when I get a boner, he's like, I just flip it into my waistband. He
Yeah.
like hides it and it feels fucking
Yeah.
good.
It's like I almost blew a load in my fucking belly button the other day. Yeah. Yeah, that shit's good, dude. Yeah, I
And when
love
he's
it.
like, didn't you date fucking blah, 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 blah? And he's like, didn't you get like 12 hand jobs? He's like, yeah, and 3/4 of a blowjob, but who's counting?
Oh,
Dude,
shit's
just
funny,
iconic
dude.
fucking shit,
Yeah.
bro. Like so many, like it's crazy how much this like 10 years later, like 11 years later, this movie has still like standed the test of time and still is up there with like some of the best like comedies.
Oh
like,
yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
Especially from its time, for sure. I think it helped to like define the genre at that moment in
It's a
time.
low budget, hilarious
It just
adult
of,
comedy.
yeah, just of like that 2010 so and so or whatever, because like I think that this is, if anything, probably the last of the low budget ones, if that. I would be interested to see what the budget of the movie was, because this Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen style of comedy definitely got some fucking money fronted behind it, like almost immediately after this, because like everything from the early 2000s to probably around 2010 felt pretty indie, like low budget or whatever. Yeah, 17.5 to 20 million. That's
yeah.
not huge, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah, in terms of like low budget, that's like in comparison, like today, like when you watch the movie, what was it, Talk to Me? I haven't watched it, but that was like, I think that has a budget of like 4.5 million.
Yeah, so this is still sizable, but this blew it up for sure and got even higher, because like you start watching Judd Apatow movies over the next 10 years, and like fucking LeBron James is in that shit. Like they blew up, I think, because of like a lot in part to the success of like this and other movies that came out around this time.
Because Judd Apatow was also a 40-year-old virgin, right?
Oh yeah, no, that fool's fucking. Again, like it's that's why I brought it up, is it's like it's easy to call it small budget in comparison to something like superhero movies and shit like that, but there's still a pretty fat chunk of money that goes into making these movies.
Yeah, that's a low budget in comparison to like the bigger.
But in terms of
mainstream
comedies, these are probably well budgeted movies.
It's probably like the perfect budget for this type of movie, because you can still keep the low budget aspects, but the things that might look bad, quote unquote, you can like touch them up a little bit because you have that like a little bit of
Well,
extra
it's
money.
also like I think my dad was telling me this, but Michael Cera just had a Vanity Fair interview where like they do it for everybody, where they discuss their like most iconic performances. And he was actually talking about this, which is that like, and I just heard this secondhand from my pops. I haven't actually watched the interview, but he was talking about how like during this time, Hollywood caught on to the fact that people liked low budget movies,
Mm-hmm.
and they were sinking a shit ton of money into making them look indie rather than just producing indie films. Like,
Wow.
the budget goes into making it look small budget,
Mm-hmm.
which is why you probably get like the low budget feeling from something like this, which is crazy. It's fucked
Wow.
up. It's a trip.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a trip. It's kind of fucked up, but it is
Mhm.
what it is. It's part of Hollywood.
Yeah. Ooh, have you ever watched the Seth Rogen, Tyler the Creator interview?
Mm-mm.
That's a fucking good ass interview
Okay.
to watch because he talks about this. He also talks about what's that fucking like sitcom he was on? Freaks and
Oh, yeah.
Geeks.
That's a
he
great
talks
show.
about
Yeah.
talks about stuff like that.
I
And
love
it's
that show.
It's a crazy interview just watching it with Tyler the Creator.
Yeah,
also,
for sure. That's a trippy pairing, definitely.
hmm
But it sounds interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
I want to see it.
But yeah, I was watching, dude. Jonah Hill's like facial expressions are like just so funny in this fucking movie because like there's the scene where they're talking like at lunch,
Mhm.
and he's just like, he says something about like Becky. He's like, oh yeah, fuck that bitch, and then
Oh,
fucking,
yeah. Michael
and
Cera.
yeah, and Michael
What's up,
Cera's
Ish?
just like, I wish he just wouldn't talk about her like that, and he's just like.
Yeah.
And I watched this like little clip how he was saying like on Superbad, like he was trying super hard
Mhm.
to make Michael Cera like laugh and like break, and he just
Oh,
like
yeah.
couldn't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like Michael Cera was just like
A pro.
a pro and like just couldn't fucking do it, and he's just like super hilarious in his own right, and is probably super easily able to like deflect shit like that and
Oh,
just
yeah.
improv really well
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
things,
Yeah, definitely.
But Jonah Hill was saying how he sneezed one time,
Uh-huh.
and then Michael Cera just started like cracking up, and he just got hella pissed. He's like, "What the fuck, dude?
Why
Like,
does that make you
yeah,
laugh?
that
Yeah.
made you fucking hella
That's
laugh."
funny.
But
That's good. Yeah.
I think the funniest scene to me in
Mhm.
this is the flashback to when he's
drawing the
fucking
dicks?
drawing all the fucking
Yeah,
dicks.
that
dude.
shit is funny.
And
Yeah.
that shit's fucking
Yeah.
hilarious, bro. Because that's just the funniest, like, just a problem to have as
Yeah.
like a kid. That shit's just so fucking
Yeah,
that's
ridiculous.
so
Like,
fucking
so over the
ridiculous, and
top.
so
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, no, it is good. Yeah.
But I think what's more important is we need to talk about how,
Beautiful.
dude, everyone was tripping. Like, obviously, if my kid's just drawing a bunch of dicks all day, I'm gonna be like, "Whoa, bro,
worried.
what's good?" You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna be tripping a little bit.
But if I see the quality of which these dicks are being drawn,
You put your kid in an art
I'm
class.
gonna be like, all right, okay, we're gonna talk about the dicks later.
Yeah.
But we need to get you drawing some other shit.
Yeah.
Because this is crazy.
Magnificent.
Magnificent.
The
Because even like
artistry.
the artistry
It's
is
on another level.
exactly, and the creativity. It's one thing to just be like, oh, I'm gonna draw a dick.
Yeah.
Haha, this is fucking funny. But to be like, I'm gonna draw a monkey eating a banana, and the banana is gonna be a
A
dick.
dick, yeah.
I'm gonna draw a fucking dick riding a rocket ship, and it has a cowboy hat. Fucking,
Yeah.
you know? And what's that famous? There's like a famous picture with the person fucking standing in front of like the tanks and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what it's fucking called because
I think it was like Tiananmen Square or something.
yeah, I'm
like
terrible at fucking history and shit like that.
I'm also bad. I'm not gonna lie. The only
Mhm.
reason why I remember that is because that line is in a Tenacious D song. Yeah.
But he even like recreated that and just like instead of the person standing
Yeah,
in front of the tanks,
it's
it
the
was just a
dick.
fucking dick,
Yeah.
bro.
It's funny shit, dude. Yeah.
And it was
it's
just
pretty
funny. He's
good.
like, just one day, man, I was working on a really big veiny one.
Yeah.
This dude comes up and just knocks all this shit.
That's
and
when Becca finds it. Yeah.
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 and fucking the principal was just like hella religious, and he just thought a demon was.
Yeah. They made me stop eating all foods shaped like a dick. You know what foods are dick shaped? All the best kinds. Shit is good, man.
God,
Yeah.
bro.
No, I love it. It is still 1,000. It's still certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, bro.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was also watching, like, I saw a clip with, like, Seth Rogen and how Jonah Hill was all knocked up, and while they're all knocked up, he was trying to, like, be like, hey, man, like, let me get in on Superbad. And they just, like, didn't think he was, like, too funny or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They're like, kind of, like, whatever. But one day they brought him in, like, Seth Rogen brought him into his trailer, and, like, he, like, did lines from, like, Superbad, and they're like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah. After that, we
That's
just,
the
like,
guy.
knew he was, like, just super fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
he's Seth.
And it's funny because he's doing the line where he's like, yeah, and I might be allergic to pussy juice. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
And he's like, but what happens after tonight is like the barrier that separates us between the pussy juice is just going to break. And like, it's just going to flow all over me. And he like finishes the line and he's like, that's graphic.
Yeah. That's graphic. That's funny, dude. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's good shit. I love it. Certifiable banger, certifiable classic.
What would you rate this movie?
This one I would probably give, in terms of quality, like an 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
This viewing was a little lesser for me, like I was explaining before, just because of like, I think it also had to do with watching these two movies back to back for sure. But overall, I would give it like an 8.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I would rate it because I rated the other one like a 9.
A 9, yeah.
A 9. I think I'd rate this like a 9.3.
Okay.
Like I like it kind of as much. Like it's in that same vein of Sex Drive. Like they are very much like like I said,
It's like a teenage coming of age
sex comedy.
Yeah,
That's
raunchy comedy.
that does it well. That's not too over the top
No.
and like sex is fucking hilarious. Blah,
It's
blah, blah.
like it's almost weird to call it tasteful because everything is
is
just dick jokes,
It
but
is
it's the
tasteful.
most tasteful you can be when
Exactly.
it comes to like these
How
kind
can we
of jokes.
craft this as tastefully as possible?
Yeah, and I think they do
While
a good job.
still like pushing the envelope
Yeah.
and being raunchy.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
But I'd rate this like a 9.3 because I like it a little bit more than Sex Drive because I think it came out a year before. I think it's hard to, Superbad is just a classic,
Big time.
and I think Sex Drive is a classic in its own right, not that. It might not be as big as Superbad and it's not anything to hold against,
No.
but I think just putting them head to head, it's hard to put Sex Drive over Superbad.
Yeah,
me,
sure.
Sure.
I think they're pretty comparable. I think it's unfortunate that like Sex Drive didn't do as well
Mm-hmm.
as something like Superbad did, just in terms of like the overall fame of it. Because like, I think they're pretty comparable movies.
Mhm.
Like I did technically give Superbad a higher rating than I did Sex Drive, but that extra 0.5 points is probably mostly due to the fact that it is considered a classic, and it was a classic amongst us as like kids. But like, I think Sex Drive is just as good, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Superbad is like miles better than the other one or anything. It is a little better,
Mm-hmm.
but they're pretty damn close.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. God damn. Wow.
But hell yeah, guys. That was episode number 69. Wow.
69. Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hope you guys enjoyed that shit. What do you guys think about Superbad? What do you guys think about Sex Drive? Have you ever watched Sex Drive? Is
You've
this
probably
the first?
watched Superbad. So.
Yeah, you've probably watched Superbad. So
Yeah.
let us know what you think. What are your thoughts? Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, let us know down in the fucking comments. If you're like, what? You guys are on YouTube? I didn't fucking know that stuff. Then
Go search it
obviously
up.
you haven't listened to the past episodes because I say it every single fucking
Every
episode.
time.
But if you want to go watch us on YouTube, search us up at 2HyperTV, TOOHIGH4TV, and that's the number 4, the symbol, the one you write down when you're like 24, you write the 2 and then the 4.
When you're doing maths
Just
and stuff.
just erase the 2 and then just take the 4, copy and paste that in between 2 high and TV.
and you're good.
Yeah,
And that's it.
so the number 4, not FOR, not FORE, not even FOUR spelt out like I said. We're
The number.
symbolic over here. We believe in astrology over here.
That's
we're not.
right.
We're an astrology podcast as well.
100%, 100%.
Virgos, Cancers,
Yeah, big time.
Sagittarius, everything like
All
that.
of it. Whatever you want.
If you want your cards, if you want your tarot cards read, I can't do it, but I might know someone that could kind
Yeah,
of do it for
yeah.
you.
I don't
Daniel
either-
can't.
I
Daniel can't do
either.
it.
No, I'll pretend I know how to do it though.
Yeah, we'll just flip up some cards, and if you know what they mean, you can take that for
I'm just gonna buy loteria cards. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
flip one in front of you and go.
Escalera.
Oh my god.
My
Just make
favorite
it really
video, my
dramatic.
favorite vine is like when a bunch of people are playing loteria and the dude picks up the fucking ladder one and he's like escalera, whoa, and everyone's like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Ah, God damn it.
But yeah, guys, search us up on Instagram as well at the same thing, TOOHIGH4TV.
Symbolic number 4.
And let us know what you want to see in the future. If there's movies that you want us to see, like, hey, there's this movie you guys need to fucking watch.
It's a must.
You know,
maybe
have you
we've
guys-
seen it, maybe we haven't. We'll rewatch it for the podcast if we need to, or we'll watch it for the first time.
yeah, there's a lot of shit that I haven't watched.
Same here.
In a long time. That is pretty, like, to me, if I haven't seen anything since I was like 10 years old and I'm watching it now,
Oh,
I'm pretty
totally
much watching
different.
it for the first
Yeah,
time.
it's totally different.
know.
Yeah, big time.
So just let us know what you want to see down in the YouTube comments. Hit us in the DMs on Instagram as well.
Keep it appropriate, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Don't send us dicks.
Please.
Please don't.
Please.
Please don't.
I mean, it's kind of flattering, but just don't do it.
yeah, like if you have the thought of like, dang, dude, I want to send these guys a dick pic.
Just keep that
We
as like
appreciate it.
Keep
We
that as a nice.
appreciate-
We appreciate that you love us.
Yeah.
That you want to do something nice for us. That's not the nice thing to do, though.
But we'd probably block you
That's
after
not.
that.
It's not the thing to do.
Just keep, you know, if you want to tell us that you love us, we would like that.
Send us flowers.
Yeah.
Send us flower
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, let us know what you guys want us to see in the future. And yeah, I just want to tell you guys, you guys are pretty cool. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate anybody who is out there listening. I know I find it very like heartwarming to like, because I think you and I are in the same boat. We kind of more or less do the episode and then like relatively forget what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2 hours of us just going back and forth. So like don't always remember everything, but it is heartwarming to have somebody come up and be like, hey, that thing you said like on this episode was super funny. It was cracking me up. And I'm like, I said that? And then I'm like, oh, I did say that. Like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. So
shout out.
much appreciation.
Shout out to all the Hawaii homies that listened to the last episode and appreciated all the shout outs because I appreciate you guys.
Lots of appreciation.
Hell yeah. But yeah, guys, tune in next week when we do something that you'll find out next week when you listen to the episode.
It'll come out.
And
you'll know what it's about.
You'll be like, wow, you guys are talking about this? This is awesome.
Crazy.
Wow.
This is the best episode yet.
Wow, this is great. Episode 70. Yeah, it's going to be episode 70. We're breaking into a new... a new set of 10, a new decade.
7's a lucky number, and we're 10 times that.
Maybe we'll do some 70s movies,
I'm down for that.
Some kung fu, some fucking, I don't know what came out in the 70s.
Probably a lot. There were probably some kung fu movies that came out in the 70s. We'll look it up.
Yeah.
I'm down for a 70s episode.
Yeah, we'll do some shit, guys.
Hell yeah.
Do some shit. But yeah, tune in next week. Tell someone you love them,
Most definitely.
Tell someone you like their outfit.
Tell somebody you know that you love them. Tell somebody that you don't know that you hope they have a good day.
Yeah, exactly. Get a koozie for yourself because it's only going to make your drinks better.
100%.
It's only going to make your drinks
easily.
Like, this was cold all the way through.
The whole time.
And I'm always astounded.
Mine's been gone for like probably the last 20 minutes. And it's still cold in here. There's been no liquid in here. And this shit's still cold.
Just stainless steel, baby.
Pretty magical.
Just stainless steel, baby.
Stainless steel, baby.
But yeah, guys, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good night whenever you're listening. I hope you have a good afternoon.
100%.
If you have to go back to your job, I hope your boss isn't riding your ass.
Hope you have a good rest of your shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.